Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, fuck everybody, just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason, though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flaws, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up, early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, fuck everybody, just do your thing.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day. Good morning, YouTube. I hope you guys are doing well. TGIF. Mama Bullhorn is sleeping in the other room, so I'm going to try to keep it a little quiet just for a little bit. And, you know, we know one person is not going to be present online this morning, right? Because she's in the other room. Thank God for mothers. Good morning, Karen G. You were the first to say good morning. It's nice to see you, honey. Good morning, Crystal. Anissa, I don't think she sleeps. I really don't, because I was sleeping when she was still chatting. Munch, good morning. How are you beautiful today? Thank you. Our beautiful lady, thank you. Yes, I'm doing well. Slept really well because I exerted almost too much energy yesterday. But we'll go into all that. And had a great day yesterday with my mom. Cool Gamer, nice to see you. Kelly, GG for life. Sonia, nice to see you representing Summer's Army this morning. Patty, I'm glad you got your coffee in hand. I do too. Actually, this is my first cup of coffee with you guys. I got up and got everything ready for this morning, and here we are. So this is my first cup of coffee I get to have with each and every one of you this morning. So it's nice. Nice. Karen Davis, good morning. Sandpiper, the real Gypsy Soul. Nice to see you. Crazy Pepper Linda. Love that name. Good morning. And keep prayers for Doug Live. Yes, we are definitely, without a doubt, keeping our prayers for Doug Live today. I've really got to say, my heart just goes out to all of his family and friends. I can't imagine the agony that they were going through. We're going to talk about it. By Dolly's live, his eyes were open. So I don't want to rush the show just quite yet. I'm going to get through this, but we are going to definitely be talking about the updates related to Doug Live. Nature lover, love it. Good morning. Today is a good day for sure. Yes, I think many of us are much more relieved. Even the Sternquist side of the family, I'm sure, much more relieved. And again, like I said, we'll go through that a little more. Brenda, good morning. By the way, Brenda, my mom saw your your post in Dolly's chat saying, tell Mama Bullhorn we said hi. So she saw that. It was kind of cute. Miss Robin, good morning. Is there a second Miss Robin, or is this my Miss Robin? I don't know. We'll have to check it out. I'm sure that's a new Miss Robin. Miss Robin Lee, good morning. Patty Burris, nice to see you. Good vibes to Doug, absolutely. Kelly, Bama fan 1, good, nice to see you. Prayers for Doug, she says. Barbara Warren, hi. I'm here early this morning, hoping you have good news. I have news on Doug's health. I do. Prayer for him and his family. Thank you. Thank you. Graham James, good morning. Yes, it is TGIF. Guys, don't forget to go as you're coming in this morning. Please don't forget to hit the like button. That really does help the algorithm on this. Sage, Crystal G, Nancy B, nice to see you. Let's see who else is in here. Outrageous. Outrageous. Oh, just got it. I love it. You guys have some clever names just for everybody to see. Good morning. Michael Blade, good morning. Rogue House, good morning. It just popped up on me, so I might have missed some people. Sebastian, Roddy Diesel, nice to see you. Scotty Lash, Tracy, Susie Sue, Winnie. Wow, missed a lot of people. Lana, Sweet Pineapple Fruit Loop. Tessie, good morning from Vancouver. Love it. Nice to see you guys. Hope your visit with your mom. Oh, it's great. We're not done yet. Like, we still have a little work. I think today we're going to do something with this office. Like, it was crazy. I'll go through some of it here in just a little bit. Louise, it's nice to see you here this morning. I think we got just about everybody. Lulu, Gelsey, Kathy. And again, like, if I miss some of you people, the thing just kind of pops up on me. Julia, Victoria, Blue, nice to see you guys all. So we have some, what does it say? Subbox Shan, nice to see you. So we got some new faces and some old. Oh, Stephanie, I see you in here. Thank you. Yeah, I think we've got a lot of stuff going on here. A lot of stuff going on in this country. I actually talked to people from other countries because of, this being the Bullhorn Betty channel. We do garner people from other countries that watch, like many other channels. And, they say they don't have all the stuff that we've got going on in the United States. And it just makes me step back and just really wonder why. Why is this stuff going on in the United States? But yeah, we know it happens around the world, but not to the level of what it's happening here in the United States. So, as many of you guys know, there was a feud, so to speak. Actually, not even so to speak. There was a feud. There was a feud between two YouTubers. It started out very benign. Two YouTubers in the same town. One was trying to expose the other. There was some stuff going back and forth, and then months later, almost a year later, that had escalated from, trying to expose somebody, following them online and around town and just trying to track their every move, ended up coming to a head where it left one man fleeing and another man lying in the road unconscious and not breathing. This is a hard story for me to cover because many of you guys know my experience here on YouTube and the stuff that I've actually had to go through. And I'm not alone. There are many other creators that have experienced a form of online harassment and online bullying here on the streets of YouTube. And so this kind of hits a little close to home for me because I think even myself does not realize, how much jeopardy we put ourselves in. And especially when you think it's just a petty squabble, it escalating to such a level where someone's fighting for their life and another person's being arrested. And that's what we have experienced here recently with Doug Live and the Stern Squad. And it's very sad. And many of you guys know for a really long time, almost since the day I've come on YouTube, I've discussed about this online bullying and online harassment and the cyber stalking. I've talked about it many, many times about how scary it is, and a lot of the clip channels, a lot of the bully channels picked those things up and made fun of them. Made fun of me for saying that, calling me paranoid, calling me this, calling me that. And then you hear about a situation like Stern Squad and, Doug Live. And to know that this stuff goes on consistently on YouTube, we watch it almost every single day. It's gotten to the point where, this is becoming a little scary. And, it's not fun, right? I don't think anybody out there having an entertainment channel in the true crime industry should ever have to be fearing for their safety, for their life. They should not be using the Department of Children's Services as a weapon against other creators. They shouldn't be using law enforcement as a weapon to other creators. And I think that this has gotten really at a heightened level. I think it's disgusting. And I think many of us want it to stop. So what can we do? And, I tried to express yesterday, how do we handle this? It's not the creators that can handle this alone. It's the people that watch our channels as well as these other channels. They are the people that can make the biggest impact and biggest change. So, I think at this point in this heightened level of online harassment and cyber stalking and cyber bullying, I think it's up to the community, the spectators, the audience that watches these channels. It's all in your hands. Whenever you guys stop subscribing to these bully channels and stop feeding into people being harassed online for simply having a channel, I think that's when we're going to start seeing the most impact in these communities. Again, it's not something Bullhorn Betty can do. I don't go to these channels. I'm not feeding the beast, the audiences. So I just really hope that you guys look really deep inside and realize that, some people think it's fun and games on YouTube. I'm a real person. Doug Live is a real person. We are not some characters in a drama skit. You know, we what you see is what you get when we're out there in the field. We're out there in the field, and many of you guys know that when we were out in Rogersville, Tennessee, one of the biggest problems was, we wanted to go under the radar. We didn't want to go live, and it was specifically because going live and people knowing where you're at when you're out there, especially working a very sensitive case and a sensitive topic, you don't want people knowing your exact location because of scenarios like what Doug Live and the Stern Squad went through. But again, it's good news this morning. Doug did wake up by Dolly's live yesterday. Doug was just waking up. He had his eyes open. I was on the website today, and it appears that he was letting everybody know that he loves you all, the people that follow him. I didn't know him. So it's not like I was this huge fan. I knew he was out there when we were out there with Gabby Petito, but again, didn't know what he looked like. When I went to Gabby Petito's motion to dismiss hearing, people said he was there. I didn't know what he looked like, so I didn't know. I didn't go up and introduce myself to him or anything like that. So, but my heart still bleeds because he's one of our own. He is a creator in the true crime industry, and with that being said, it didn't matter if he was from the yarn community. If I heard about this story, I was planning, I would have picked it up and ran with it anyways, because it's driving the message. This online bullying, stalking, and harassing has to stop here on the streets of YouTube. Yesterday, we went through some of the online harassment and cyberbullying criteria on YouTube's own platform that they have in their, in their help center. And they appear to be very strict on this policy, but they're not enforcing it. I'm telling you, they're not enforcing it because I've experienced this. I've reported this. Nothing ever came of it. So even if Doug had reported it and Doug had, voiced his concern, I'm not sure YouTube would have acknowledged it. And that's concerning for me. That's really concerning for me. Either way, guys, good morning. We will get more in depth in that than we are now. Just checking the system, make sure we're doing good. We've got a lot of stuff to cover. As you guys see, the thumbnail was pretty full of faces, and we're going to talk about all of it, about every bit of it. So let me get down here to the bottom. Laura says, I've seen a post where Doug told whoever's looks like to tell everyone he's going in for heart surgery today and he loves everyone. If he can say that, then he, in my opinion, will be good to go after recovery. Yes, but you got to remember heart surgery. And I think Dolly was correct in his assertion that, Doug's eyes were open. He's waking up. But, this is a step in the right direction. But certainly he is not out of the woodworks yet. And just to tell you guys a little bit about heart surgery. Yes, he's going in for heart surgery. But think about that. It's heart surgery. That's a very serious surgery. Many of you know I talk about my best friend and how she lost her husband. Many of you guys don't know how she lost her husband. He had, some heart issues. He was a retiree of over 30 years at Tropicana. They had been married for 40 years. He was they were almost like surrogate parents to me as opposed to being my best friend, but they were both very much very, very close to me and my best friend. He had another heart issue where they had to put a stent in, but the stent was quite a large stent and required a specialized type of surgery. And they put that stent in, but they put it into him in a surgical unit as opposed to an operating room, surgical room versus an operating room. Many people are like, what's the difference? There's a lot of difference. For example, the sanitation requirements of an OR as opposed to a surgical room are so much higher, cleaner, because of the types of surgery they're having. And he ended up getting, they thought it was a bacterial infection, but it was actually a fungal infection. That means he acquired that infection from that surgical room. They were pumping his body so much with antibiotics that he actually formed a yeast in his chest. And it made a necrotic spot in his chest the size of a golf ball, which basically means that he was living, but he would never live again without machines. And he knew, he was awake, he was live when he died. I don't know how to explain it. So yes, he's doing well now, but we have to understand he's going through major surgery. And we're not talking about just any old major surgery. We're talking about the lifeline of our being, our heart. He's about to have heart surgery. And even though he had heart surgeries before, similar to my friend, anything can happen. And anything can happen post-operation because, Pop was fine. He was fine for 2 weeks until it got really bad. So we want to keep Doug in his prayers, but I want you guys to know the seriousness of his surgery. The seriousness, he is not out of the woodworks yet. And he needs every ounce of prayer that we can provide him across the streets of YouTube today as he undergoes his heart surgery. I have to say it's great news. I mean, we're thankful Doug is awake. This is huge news. This is a step in the right direction, with hands down, step in the right direction. But I want the audience to know he is not out of the woodworks yet. He is not out of the woodworks. He will be out of the woodworks post-operation and several weeks later. So we have still a lot of work to do as a community to uplift him and uplift his family. And many of you guys know, I know the power of prayer. We came in here and all of us, we had, 500 people in here yesterday praying for this man and this man's recovery. And he opened his eyes yesterday. I absolutely, hands down, believe in the power of prayer. And I believe we all did our part to help Doug. What we could do, we did. And thank you all. His family thanks you all. But again, this whole scenario surrounding what happened is scary and very concerning, especially for creators. It's even, creators that aren't targeted, aren't, cyber stalked, aren't harassed on a daily, they get a little bit of it, but they don't understand just how vicious it is. They don't. And we've, as a community, if we want it to stop, that's in each and every one of your hands to stop it. The only thing I can do is I refuse to watch. Even when stuff is horrible about me and somebody sends me the link, I won't watch. I won't even give them that viewing to get money off that ad because I refuse, absolutely refuse to support any bully channel. And I could care less what they say about me. I could care less. I've gotten to the point where I could care less. They do not matter. When my safety is in jeopardy, when I feel it's gone too far, I take action, the proper action within the laws of the court. I protect myself. I have everything documented within the court systems. So if anything ever happens to me, they know exactly who, what, when, where, and where to go and whose door to knock on. And that's what we have to do as YouTubers. Don't think that one idle threat needs to go unreported, because you never know when that threat is real. And apparently the Stern squad has been following and stalking this man for quite some time. I want to show you guys some things. Put this up. So here's the fan page. And again, that was the message that we just heard from Nina, put in a message into his fan chat. I'm going in for heart surgery today. Love you all. So he is in great spirits today. This is the best news that we could possibly um, have this morning. You know, he's awake enough to tell us he's going in for heart surgery. And I love you all. And I'm telling you guys, this is the work you guys did. This is the power of prayer. When things get tough, the first thing I do is hit my knees, you know? And I'm so thankful for every one of you, the family. I can't even imagine what his daughters were going through. I mean, we got to think this is not just the creator dealing with this. This is what the entire family and his entire friend system is dealing with. Like, they had to go several days. Think about this attack happened on June 25th. Yesterday was June 30th. It was 5 days that his family went through pure agony, wondering if he was going to live or die. And that is something no family should have to go through for simply having a channel and running true crime cases. Nobody should ever have to be concerned that something so awful can happen over doing something so innocent. So we're definitely very happy to hear, you know, he's doing well. We're not done talking about this subject, but I am going to reel it back just a little bit. We are going to get into the language of letting go this morning. It is July 1st. That means they're going to a different type of topic. And I thought this, I have not read this yet. Usually I try to read them. It's actually quite long. It's this whole page and then, you know, this whole page, or half of this page here. So hopefully I can read it without stumbling and stuttering, you know, but we'll see, right? And this is learn to say how it feels, you know, learn to say how it feels. He no longer dreamed of storms, nor of women, nor of great occurrences, nor of great fish, nor fights, nor contests of strength, nor his wife. He only dreamed of a place now and of the lions on the beach. Ernest Hemingway. If any of you guys know who Ernest Hemingway is. Many teachers of our time attribute consciousness, energy, not just matter, to all creations that exist in God's marvelous world. Many teachers from ancient times espouse this philosophy too. How does it feel when you sit next to a sprawling oak tree? How does it feel when you lie in the hot sand at the beach, listening to the waves splashing on the shore? How does it feel in your kitchen in the morning? How does it feel when you're with your best friend or your spouse? How does it feel to go into a store filled with beautiful objects, stuffy sales clerks, and signs that screams, "Do not touch"? Many of us are survivors. We learn the art of leaving our bodies early on, perhaps in our childhood, or maybe later as a way of coping with situations that didn't feel good and that didn't feel right to us. We learn to deny how a situation felt, and often how it felt to be with a certain person, in order to cope with situations we found ourselves in that we didn't have the tools or the power to escape. We trained ourselves to ignore how things felt because either we told ourselves we had no choice, or we truly didn't have a say in the matter. We don't have to survive anymore. That time is past. Now it's time to live. Come back into your body. Stretch your senses so that they fill up all of you. Your senses, your sense of taste, smell, touch, sight, and sound, and your intuitive senses too. How do you feel emotionally? If you can't put words to it, just describe it as best as you can. Then go to the next level. Tune into the feelings and moods of the world around you, but not so much that you take these feelings on as yours. Tune in just enough to recognize how the energy of each situation feels to you. Don't judge your responses and feelings as either good or bad. And you don't have to do anything to control how it feels to you or anyone else. Just allow yourself to experience and recognize how it feels to be you. Part of speaking the language of letting go means learning to delight and revel in all the senses, including your inner knowing. Learn to say with trust and confidence, this is how I feel. God help me come fully to life. Pretty good read for the first day of July. By the way, folks, June is now officially behind us. Today, it is now 6 months to the end of the year. We're already 6 months into 2022. Insane. Insane. Yep, Stella. So she says, praying works. I'm a miracle of my mom prayed for me for years. I was an alcoholic, been free of that for 23 years, no desire for it, and got delivered of cigarettes at the same time. Oh, well, God bless you. I'm still struggling. Yes, Stella, if many of you guys know my story, my mom prayed for me for years. I remember in my 20s, my dad came in and told me, I have $10,000 to fix you with, or I have $10,000 to bury you with. Take your pick. It was that bad. But they are very, again, it damaged the relationship I had with my father. But if his objective was to save my life, he accomplished it. So at the end of the day, here we are. We're all reeling from the news from Doug Live. We are very thankful about him, but we did go through, let me see if I can pull this up. We did go through the charges of, and before I forget, I just heard on Doug Live, and we're going to go through the post, MGL, Molly Go Lightly, is going to be doing a fundraiser for Doug. She's going to be raising money to provide his family. All 100% of the proceeds from her fundraiser goes directly to the family. And I actually believe she's going to be posting their information. I don't want to put words in her mouth, but when she goes live and she's doing that fundraiser, if you guys, it's a great way to really support the family. They have traveling expenses. Clearly, he's going to have a lot of medical expenses that are associated with this. I don't know if he's quite on Medicare or, what his insurance stuff, is going on with him. But it's going to need the whole community to kind of do their part, and it's not the great thing about crowdfunding for stuff like this is you don't have to spend a lot of money. Nobody's asking you to go out and spend $1,000. Many people, I'm sure she's going to have anywhere between a few hundred to 1,000 or so people in that chat. Just think about it. Say, for example, if there's 1,000 people in that chat, if everybody gave $5, like that's less than a cup of coffee. If everybody gave $5, that's $5,000 that is going to help that family. Right? And it's Friday. Many of you guys are going to be going out, having a few cocktails after work. Why don't you take just your beer money for one beer and contribute it to the family? Or, the cost of one glass of wine tonight and contribute that to the family to help out. Yeah. And and Stephanie made a great point for those that don't have the money, that would like to support him and help him. You guys can go watch his videos. You can go watch his videos, watch those advertisements. Every time you watch an advertisement on his channel, it is helping him. And you can do that for free. And it'll help him and help his family. Thank you, Stephanie. Great idea. So everybody can do their part to really help this family. And I hope you guys do. Again, no pressure. You do what you can do. And I know the people that come here are good people, and you guys do the absolute best you can. And that's all that's required, really. At the end of the day, that's all that's ever required from anybody and everybody from day to day, right? It's just go out and make the day and do the best you can that day. So God bless each and every one of you. Again, we are very thankful that Doug Live was able to tell everyone that he loved them. That is good news. And again, it is to everybody out here in these YouTube streets that prayed very hard for this man that I truly believe helped. I'm sorry, I do. because I'm telling you, I don't know what it is, but every time I talk about him, I don't know if you guys can see that, I literally get goosebumps. I don't know what that's about. Even yesterday when I was talking about this story, maybe because it just hits so close to home for me. It's scary. It's scary. It's just scary. So let me just go here to Sternquist. Let's see if there's any other charges for this man today, because Doug did wake up. He's not out of the woodworks yet by any stretch of the imagination. And I have a funny feeling there's going to be other charges. Thank God. I mean, even the Sternquist family should be taking a sigh of relief right now, because let me tell you, Jason and he's still facing some major crimes. He's got to fight for himself right now, because he did this. He allowed it to escalate to this point. And here we go, right here, blank screen, another big bully on the streets of YouTube. And this is the kind of nonsense that creators have to go through. For all those that are just tuning in, this is a prime example of the stuff that creators have to go through for what? Having an entertainment channel and talking about true crime. And it's nonstop. It's all the time. It's nonstop. And then it's a new thing. So they're not making videos about you, but now they are cloning your account and going into all these chat rooms and saying off the wall things that you wouldn't say. And people are believing it's you. And that's the kind of bullying I'm talking about. This is online bullying. This man here is in this chat room every day stalking me. That is a prime example right there. So for you guys just tuning in, blank screen, you just proved my point. It's got to stop. It's got to stop. Enough is enough. It really is. And if I was e-begging, for example, I would be asking it for myself, not for others. I hope you rot in hell. This is part of the problem. So let's go ahead and move on. So it looks like there's no additional charges for Jason Sternquist additionally this morning. He was arrested on the 26th. He was booked and charged. And as they built a case against him, they had charged him additionally 2 days later. So he actually bonded out of jail and then was rearrested and had to bond out of jail again. So let's just go over the original charges that Jason faced. At the time they found Doug live. There's the gentleman that is Stern Squad. This is the YouTuber Stern Squad that attacked Doug live, Northport. And he was originally charged with burglary, occupied conveyance, and an unarmed burglary. And then, of course, a battery, touch, and strike, which is, simple battery, they charged him with. And then as I would assume, as they did their investigation, they were able to charge him with additional charges. They were able to look at the penal code, realize that actually he is charged with this, the investigation, most likely watching his videos, stalking Doug live, probably helped get these additional charges, which are, well, the robbery, and that was because he snatched the phone out of Doug's hand. He reached into a vehicle and snatched the phone. That is burglary. That is burglary. Okay. Unarmed burglary, or excuse me, robbery. Unarmed robbery, but robbery nonetheless. You cannot take somebody else's items. You just can't do it. You just can't. So, and then they got him with aggravated stalking, harassment and cyber stalking, and credible threat to a person. So they labeled Jason Sternquist as a credible threat to a person in cyber stalking. So, this is the stuff I'm talking about. And you guys, Also, if you guys see Bullhorn Betty in a channel, it most likely isn't me writing. There, if you know anything about me, I only deal with a few channels. And so somebody's been cloning me in WFLA and started cloning. Like, first of all, subs and mods should be off, should not be touched by YouTubers or anybody else. They should be in a safe space. If you want to attack another YouTuber, I mean, I don't condone it at all, but our audiences, which many of us share, should not be attacked. They should not be attacked. And somebody has not only cloned me, but has cloned several other of our audience here, including Anissa. I believe that it's possible that April C was cloned in there. There were several cloned audience members of this channel in WFLA yesterday and days before, talking craziness. And they are doing that to incite a larger base to attack us. And that is the cyber stalking and cyber bullying aspect of this. And even as Doug lied, fighting for his life, and we were talking about this very topic, they were over in WFLA trying to incite WFLA's audience to be angry and to attack us. It has to stop. It seriously has to stop. I have so many stories of the online harassment that I have personally witnessed and experienced that it would literally make you guys sick to your stomach. Literally sick to your stomach. And I can't imagine what Doug went through before it got to the level it got to. And it always starts out, it's almost like domestic battery. It starts out small and progressively gets worse until we have a situation where a man is fighting for his life. It is very serious, guys. Oh, Amy, no, I was not in WFLA. I got notification. So what happens is that people, are in all these different chats and channels. And I go, I'll get a notification that they'll ask me, am I writing in this chat or in this channel? And I'll say no. And they're like, well, you're there. And then I will go and start reading the responses, and it's crazy stuff like JLR and Olivia planted the water bottle, which is a lie because we have videos of exactly how we found that water bottle. Not only that, but the fact that law enforcement was with us, as well as Mike Ruiz, a Fox News media guy, right? I don't know. He's not an anchor, but he's a news reporter, right? Mike Ruiz. And they were in there saying that stuff just to incite the people against Jonathan and Olivia. Think about how horrible that is. They've done nothing wrong. They did everything right. They found something. They turned it over to law enforcement. We all did. We were all out there, along with law enforcement. Like, we have them saying, no, we're not going to collect that water bottle. And then they call us back and say, we need that water bottle. That water bottle was, Brian or Gabby's. And the FBI still has that to this day, right? And believe me, if we would have planted evidence in a case that large, we would have been made examples of. The FBI doesn't care. They would have arrested us and charged us with tampering with evidence or obstruction of justice or some other kind of crime. So this illusion that we somehow are so crazy that we want these clicks and views that we would, go out and do something like that could put us in legal jeopardy. And it's just insane. But this is the kind of crap that people peddle. The other thing that they were in there doing, they were saying that I believe that Brian Laundrie is alive. And many of you know that watch me on this channel. I have been, I smelt his decay. I'm sorry, I don't mean to, it's a little too early for that. But I smelt it. I was out there. I have been one person that has been saying that I truly believe Brian Laundrie is gone. But this is the kind of stuff that they do, and it's to incite their base. It's to confuse people, but that was not me. They do that in other channels. They're doing it so much so that people literally have to mod me up, give me a wrench. And I will not use that wrench. I mean, unless I've given express permission, like if I see my name in a chat, I will block that person or remove that person, right? With my wrench. But I don't touch anything else because I never want any creator to say, you abused it, right? So I let their mods mod, and I'm just there so they know with that wrench that I truly am Bullhorn Betty and not a cloned account. And many creators have had to do that with me because of somebody going in there and doing that. And this is a form of harassment, online harassment, and inciting a base to attack me and to attack my audience. And I'm sorry for that, but I can tell you it is not me. And again, we are supporting the bully channels that concoct all of this. They have backroom chats like Discord and other means to strategize. Believe me, this is what is happening. Yes, it goes that far. They think this is sink your battleship, that they are team A and we're team B, and this is how messed up these people are. They think this is a game. They really do. They think this is a game. They have not realized this is not a video game. This is real people's lives that they're screwing with. They haven't got it yet because they are so messed up in the head. Like Stern Squad. Yeah, Mary Jane. So you've experienced it too. And it's a form of online harassment. And they're doing it to incite base, literally for violence. Yes, ma'am. So Nina, I don't have Doug's correct PayPal. I really don't. So if you could send it to me, you can send it to bullhornbetty@gmail.com. That would be that would be good. If you'd like to send that to me, I'm happy to post that so we have the accurate information. I was a little hesitant on posting the other one that came in because I was scared that it would be incorrect. Apparently must have been. So I apologize for those that may have donated to. It wasn't the wrong account. I think there was something missing from it, so it probably didn't even go anywhere. But this is the type of stuff that we're talking about. And just to show, I know you guys saw it on the thumbnail, but just to show you guys just a little bit, I wanted to show you who this guy was. So the Stern Squad right there, he had 21,000 subscribers. I'm curious as to how many subscribers he currently has, because if that number has not gone down significantly, then, it's not the creators causing this. It's, I don't know who would continue to support this guy. I really don't. But to each their own. Blank screen, get the hell out of here. I don't know how to block you forever, but there's a special place for you. Just leave me alone. I don't want you killing me today. Okay? Quit stalking me. Seriously. It's sickening. Somebody report. I want blank screen not only to be blocked, but I want him reported each and every time he comes here. Each and every time he comes here, I want him reported and I want him blocked. Don't just time him out. Don't just block him. He needs to be reported. He needs to be reported. So Stern Squad is here, and this is where it kind of started. I think this might have been where it kind of started. So Doug Live exposed, Doug Live Northport spotted. So he was literally going out of his way to try to expose Doug Live. And this started 7 months ago. Does this sound a little familiar to the people that have been following me? Does anybody know what happened to me 7 months ago and what continues to happen to me to this day? This is the kind of stalking that is a little concerning. Thank you, Amy. I appreciate it. And he's got 21,500 followers, watching him stalk and harass Doug Live. 21,000 people supported what he was doing. I want that to set into your heads. I want you guys to let that sink in. 21.5 followers supporting and watching him stalk this man, thinking it's just a joke, right? It's just innocent. It's just YouTube. It's not real life. Think about it. It's not real life. It seems pretty real this morning, doesn't it, folks? It kind of, if you supported this channel, I'm not knocking you by any stretch of the imagination. Don't misunderstand me, because I'm sure you yourself thought this was innocent and didn't expect it to rise to this level, but it did. But it did. And this is the kind of stuff, when you start seeing stuff that you as an audience member would not do, and in the normal, the grand scheme of life, would not want happening to you, it's time to start not supporting these bully channels, these online harassment channels, these cyber stalking channels. And we watch them thinking it's good old YouTube fun. It's not. The people that are being stalked are human beings too. The people that are being harassed online are human beings too. I just want to make sure that I'm driving that message home. I don't like sounding like a broke record, but at the end of the day, when's enough? I mean, how many more people? We just watched Ernie. Ernie's on my thumbnail too, right? We watched that man be cyber stalked, cyber harassed, and cyber bullied until it triggered his PTSD, so much so that he had to be hospitalized. You think that was okay? It wasn't. All because one creator thinks Ernie called CPS on him. All of this is created because one YouTube creator has no proof, has no receipts, but thinks Ernie called the Department of Children's Services on him, and therefore has gone under immense harassment, cyber stalking, cyber bullying, and God knows what else. So much so that he lost his cookie and had to be hospitalized. Oh, thank you, Hellcat. Thank you, Hellcat. I appreciate it. Do we think that that's okay? You're talking about a person that has no receipts to justify pointing the finger at Ernie only because he thinks it was Ernie. He has done all of this and set all of this up with all of his online friends and friends that he strategized with to attack Ernie as much as possible. I would tell you guys his name. I'm pretty sure you know who it is, but I will no longer be advocating for that person or mentioning that person on this channel, because I do not want one person going and looking behind the curtains because Bullhorn Betty said some creator's name. I'm no longer going to be addressing these bully creators by their name. I won't do that. Really? Why you hide behind this is in here? I'm glad you're doing this because new people that are subbing to my channel get to see what kind of harassment and cyber stalking we have to undergo consistently. You have never called me out. You are a coward that hides behind a fictitious name, behind a computer. And I'm right here. I show my face. I direct my conversation at people. I've got nothing to hide. So you're calling me out on my BS? No, you're not. What you're doing is making people see what other people go through. That's all you're doing. And it is stalking and it is harassment. Who does not put a 1 in the chat? Obviously, you need an education in the legal system. And I guarantee if I knew who you were, you'd be sitting behind bars for what you've done to me. I guarantee that. It may be just a misdemeanor, but you'd catch a charge. This is a perfect example what online harassment looks like. We've watched him pepper this entire channel several times. If you guys want to look up what online harassment is classified as, let's look that up. Let's see blank screen. Online harassment means these actions occur using digital technology, such as social media platforms, emailing or messaging service, gaming platforms, or cell communication. Examples of such behavior, including posting defamatory remarks intended to harm a person's reputation. That's what online harassment means. So yes, blank screen, you are breaking the law. What you're doing. Absolutely. They can break VPNs. There is no VPN that the government can't break or follow. Believe that. Cyberstalking. Stalking refers to the use of internet, email, and other telecommunication technologies to harass or stalk another person. So what is stalking? Let's look at the definition of stalking and see if that rises to the level, right? To pursue, approach, describe. So stalking is to pursue or approach stealthily, right? And that's probably mine. What does it mean to stalk somebody? Here, stalking is the pattern of behavior directed at a specific person, which causes that person to change their routine or feel afraid, nervous, or in danger. Example of stalking behaviors includes repeated, unwanted calls, texts, messages, like messages that blank screen keeps posting in this chat, that may or may not be threatening. So now you guys, we've got 365 people in this chat, and I want him to constantly be reported. I don't want him removed without being reported. Why would I need to be behind bars? I mean, why don't you come up here and talk to me? Why don't I give you the number and you call me? You don't even have to come up here on panel. Why don't you call me and tell me about yourself? Tell me about myself. Why don't you have the balls to address me face to face? Just curious. But now you guys get to see firsthand what creators are going through. Firsthand. You guys finally get to experience this, which many of the people in this chat have experienced this over and over and over again. And what this person is doing is illegal and against the terms of service for YouTube. But you know what? YouTube does not enforce this. Does not enforce it. Am I crackling? I don't know what's going on with my internet today. I think I got too much stuff popped up on it. Already repeated blank screen myself, who is named blank screen. Yeah. But these are the kind of things. And guys, we are going to be starting online or not online. We're going to start mailing campaign. Yeah, I just clicked out of the other stuff. We're going to start mail campaigns to the legal department of YouTube. I'm going to get that together. I've got to make a form letter. So if people want to write their own letters, they may write their own letters. But if they don't want to take the time, we still want to get letters out there. So I will be doing a generic letter for you just to download, plug in your the date, your name, and sign. So I will be getting that prepared. We're also going to start sending these letters over to the FBI. I got to find out, I'll get with the FBI and find out where I can mail our concerned letters to. And, some people are talking about Homeland Security. I don't know if this rises to the level of Homeland Security yet, but I will reach out and find out what they suggest to, how they suggest handling this. But I will be making these calls, probably not today, but starting Monday, we are going to put this into action. We don't need lots of life of creators for us to start banding together, uniting, and saying we've had enough of this nonsense. And we're going to keep doing it until the streets of YouTube is cleaned up. Many of you guys know I have no problem suing people. I've got a few things that are being worked on right now, different things. So I am going to be addressing that on that front as well. I'm making sure that where I'm going and what I'm doing are creators that aren't just doing this to Bullhorn Betty, but doing this across the platform to multiple people. And I'm working and crafting that as we speak. You'll be hearing more about that as we start getting closer. I just want to let you know I am taking an active role in putting a stop to this nonsense. And I hope I get the support of the true crime community as we start putting this stuff into place and as we start taking these strategies and actually bringing them to life. So my suggestion would be, yes, and it will die down. So my suggestion would be is to take any voicemails off your phone, allow your voicemail to fill up with calls, and turn your ringer off. Don't answer any phone calls or respond to any texts that you do not recognize. And whatever you do, if you get a photo, a link, or anything text to your phone by a person you don't know, I would suggest you deleting it right away and do not open it. So no, it's built for me. It's not built for you. What you're doing is breaking the law and harassing people. What I do is cover true crime on an entertainment channel. You are an idiot. You are one of those people that I say is not right up in the head. And I hope you get help for it because you are obsessed. You are literally obsessed, and it's scary. And after what Doug just went through, I fear for my safety because of you. Report and block. Does anybody have the ability to block, or can you just hide? Can somebody send me the link to this so I can put them on the blocked list, the permanent block list? One of my mods, go to the channel, give me the URL. I appreciate it. All right, so moving on with everything, I kind of put down, shoot, where's my history button? That's not the history button, it's right here. I just closed a bunch of, closed a bunch of tabs, so I'm going to open them back up here. Restore window. All right, which might make me fuzzy again. We got some things going on here. All right, let's see if we can get that up. As soon as we get that up, we will, okay, here we go. Yeah, Facebook, for whatever reason, pulls a lot of bandwidth. So when I have a Facebook page open that I'm trying to get to, it just doesn't want to work. But I will.
I remember the first sale I got from someone I didn't know, and I was like, "Oh my God, this is."
Hi guys, welcome.
But we are going to roll over HB, you're frozen. Give me just a minute. I'm going to go away and I'll be right back. Sorry about that. I had to actually run this off of my cell phone. I don't know what's going on with my internet, so I will be adjusting that here shortly. I'll have to unplug it, but I'm not going to do it. So for the remainder of this live, we'll just be running off my hot spotting from my phone. But hey, if it works, it works. So as long as we can conduct ourselves, I'm good. So moving on, away from the online harassment, online bullying, and online stalking, we are going to be discussing some breaking news. Many of you guys know Emma at Crime Stories Obsessed clipped this. Thank God she did, because Jody Sue Dirty deleted it. If many of you guys were watching me, you guys would know that I was over at Listen to Voices Behind the Walls last night with Miss Cher, and we had a discussion about this very video. I was planning on coming on, and we were actually going to be discussing something totally different last night, but with this new revelation and what happened and what Jody Sue said, we decided to discuss this last night and show how despicable Jody Sue Brown can really be, right? Little Dave, I wish I could I've been waiting for Vios to come to this neighborhood literally for a decade. It has not made it on my street yet. As soon as Verizon Vios comes on my street, I promise you, I will, without a doubt, be switching services, without a doubt, because they're faster services, they're less expensive, but I literally have one internet provider and my cell phone service. Thank God I can hotspot. Oh, nice to see you, Hush Puppy. And past time to report these stalkers to cybercrime unit, the media, and to hold YouTube accountable. Okay, cybercrime unit. Is that for like the cybercrime unit of the FBI or the cybercrime unit of YouTube? Does YouTube even have a cybercrime unit? Well, if they don't, they should. They should. Toaster Oven, good to see you. Good to see you, my love. So anyways, let's just get on with what we heard from. Now, let me just give you a background on what all happened. So many of you guys know Andy Bernard and Jody Sue have 2 children together and lived across the street from 110 Ben Hill Road, where the Wells resided. Since then, Jody Sue has set up a YouTube page. They have, she has stated publicly, if anybody is going to, if anyone is going to make money off Summer, it should be her. And then on the other side of that, is that still turning? I don't know what's going on with my home internet. I've got to unplug the unit and plug it back in. Hopefully it'll get running again. I'm not sure. So she lived across the street when all this stuff happened. I got her text messages early on. They were released like around December-ish, but they were that day, June 15th. It was the whole entire conversation she had with Andy that day. And not one time did she say she heard this horrific scream. You know what she said? She said around 2:34 she was sleeping and a noise woke her up. Around 5:30, after them talking back and forth about him picking her up to take her out after he got off work, just normal conversations. Then she's like, around 5:30, well, I'm going to go talk to the children and I'll meet you down at the bottom of the driveway, around 6. When are you going to be here? And he's like, I'm just getting off work. And so she's like, okay, I'll just meet you down at the bottom of the driveway. I'm going to go down there and tend to the flowers. I don't know what flowers she's talking about. We've been by that house multiple times. Down by the Ben Hill Road, there are no flowers. It kind of looks like what you're looking at right here on the screen on the other side of where Jody Sue lives. I don't see any flowers in this photo. I didn't see any flowers in front of her house, but I digress. Either way, she was outside. And apparently when she went outside, she started hearing, Candace and the boys screaming for Summer. We talked to Richard down the road, and he said that even though he's further up the mountain, he's not even adjoined. He's actually much further up the mountain. He could hear them hollering for Summer. And he was explaining that, obviously if Summer had just wandered off, she would have been able to hear them screaming for her too. And he even went as far to say, if I would have hollered back, I know they would have heard me. To solidify the fact that if Summer Wells was running around and had just wandered off, she would have been able to hear her mom calling her, and she could have hollered back and responded. And that did not happen. Since then, we heard about this animalistic scream that Ronnie Lawson specifically came out and said was unfounded, i.e. not true. She's talked about seeing a guy across the street needing one of those sketch artists. And again, law enforcement didn't oblige. Why? Because they do not believe anything that comes out of Jody Sue's mouth. I have publicly came out and said the reason why I haven't tried to interview her, reach out to her, or anything else is because I believe she's an insignificant person in this case. However, because of her close proximity to the house, she is a suspect. She is I shouldn't say suspect, a person of interest and could have been responsible. Cher went as far as to call TBI and find out, because she keeps, again, alluding online and stating online that she has been cleared. Cher's called TBI and they reiterate, no one has been cleared. That means that she is still a person of interest in this case. Whether I believe she's a person of interest in this case or whether I believe she has any relevance in this case, it doesn't matter. She is a person that is a person of interest in this case by proxy. Okay. Thank you, Ronnie. I've got it, and I will pull that up here shortly. Give me just 2 shakes. We have some more information. And like I said, we are going to be working to put a stop to this because it's not just me, it's other people, and other people are being harmed from the conduct on here. So we're going to be, again, like I said, we're going to be taking a deep dive. We're going to do this for Doug Live. We are going to fight like hell to stop this stuff from ever happening again. And, you know, YouTube needs to know about it. Because it's on YouTube doesn't mean YouTube knows about it, right? They may not know that a YouTuber and a YouTuber, after being stalked, and most likely they were reporting each other to YouTube, and YouTube did nothing about it. So I hope YouTube starts taking responsibility and realizing this stuff is harming and injuring its own content creators. And without its content creators, YouTube would not be making money. Because remember, YouTube makes a lot of money off of each and every one of us. So let's just listen to what Crime Stories Emma, she comes in here and says hi every now and again. I'm a fan of Emma's. She's a fan of BHB. So we're going to see what she has to say here and kind of just digest it.
Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're well. This is Emma. You're at Crime Stories Obsessed. And we're going to be talking today about, in regards to the Summer Wells case and the neighbour at 110 Ben Hill Road, or neighbours at the time before Summer went missing, were Jodie Sue Brown and her partner, Andy Bernard. So last night, Andy Bernard appeared on Crowdsource Investigations. I think that's the name of the channel.
And I just want to let you guys know this it's Crowdsource Illuminations. The creator is a gal that goes by the name Piper. Seems really nice, nothing negative. And I can tell you that the conversation that Piper had with Andy was no big deal. It didn't reveal anything. You know, it was basically a chat talking about who he is. You know, he was sweeping these parking lots. He has apparently a sweeper on the back of his truck that he, you know, has an engine for. He cranks up the engine and he sweeps the parking lot and all that stuff at night for, you know, various businesses in and around, I believe, Kingsport or Rogersville, or a combination of both. I'm not sure on the specificity of the locations of where he sweeps, and nor would I state those if I knew them. But either way, Jodie Sue was now mind you, there's a protective order between Jodie Sue and Andy Bernard right now. There is a protective order. They're not supposed to be having contact between one another. And I also want to state that Andy Bernard, when Jodie Sue went into their chat and tried to hijack the chat away from Andy, and he did not engage with her. He did not try to communicate with her at all. She was the primary aggressor in that communication on Piper's channel. And then she decided to get off there because she wasn't being addressed. She wasn't the center of attention. And she decided to go to her channel and run her own live to be vindictive. The problem I'm having and struggling with, you know, what she's about to say, we've all thought. We've all, you know, had our own speculation that this type of stuff was going on. But it's coming from Jodie Sue's mouth. So it makes it very difficult to believe this, because we know Jodie Sue is a pathological, narcissistic liar. And she's got something seriously wrong with her. So I'm sure. Late for work. Oh, I'm sorry, Melinda. Yeah, I get up fairly early. This morning I wasn't up that awful early because Mama Bullhorn's sleeping, and I think she's up. I think I hear her little feet popping up. And if she's watching from her room, I got the coffee in this room, but I got the camera off. So if you want to come steal a cup of coffee, Mom, you can. But anyways, so she goes on this, and it makes it almost feel like she's a vindictive, you know, person. Well, we know she's a vindictive person. But I want you to hear what she says. Like, I am just beside myself at this. And she dirty deleted this video. And I'm pretty sure many people, hey, Don, I hope you're doing well. We need a true crime YouTube association of creators that are legitimate and ethical. These would be certain requirements and accountability. I agree 100%. But Don, getting on another thing, we also, YouTube can see that multiple accounts are being created in a location or by a VPN or by a, the address, whatever the address. I'm running a blank. And they know that these people are creating hundreds to thousands of accounts and bots, and they know how bots work. They have the technology right now to identify these and remove these, and they're not doing it. And I'm sure, just like you, we've reported the harassment to YouTube, and they have done nothing about it. They've done nothing about these bully creators. And I read, and we'll read it here in just a little bit, about the very first paragraph in the cyber harassment and cyberbullying policy of YouTube. And again, they are not enforcing this. So, we have to start expressing to YouTube, they need to enforce their own rules so we're all safe online on their platform. And they're not doing it. And that's where my contention lies. But thank you for being here, Don B. It's nice to see you. It's nice to see you. Another person that was bullied online and harassed online here in the YouTube community, or in the true crime community, that almost shut his own account down because he was tired of it. Another person. This is happening entirely too much that it's becoming a huge, huge problem. So let's listen to what Jody Sue has to say. It is shocking. If you guys have not heard this, I'm pretty sure we all share a lot of subs. So I'm pretty sure you guys have already heard this, but I do want to address this and how despicable this one lady right here, Jody Sue Brown, is. Yes, Sonia, Ziggy too. This is something that I think a lot of us creators have got to unify on, and we all have to strategize and find a way to put an end to this, because it has got to stop. And we'll dive deeper into that in just a minute. So let's get this playing.
And he was talking to the lady that ran the channel. Jody was not impressed. She could tell that she wasn't impressed with Andy being on the channel. And so she went live then at the same time, and she had questions for Andy. I'm guessing she can't speak to him because they've got some kind of protective order, but I'm sure that that's been breached at some point or another. Anyway, let's listen to what she had to say, because I think, guys, you will find this quite interesting. But let's just ask, though, why now? Why now, after 12 months?
Y'all go over and ask why exactly it is he was selling drugs to the children at 110.
Wait a minute. She's saying that her ex-partner, Andy, was selling substances to Candace, not just smoking substances.
So, yes, Jody Sue actually went on her live to say that her ex was selling drugs, substances, to the children across the street at 110 Ben Hill Road. That means she would have known this was going on and did nothing about it as a mother. She is a despicable, despicable woman. Even if this is all lies because she is angry with Andrew Bernard, still a despicable woman, because who would lie about such allegations? It's disgusting. But that's not the kicker. Keep listening.
This we're talking about is harder substances than that.
Why he was potentially causing little girls over there to be sedated and to be touched.
So she is saying this as if she knew that this was going on to little girls across the street at 110 Ben Hill Road. And she did absolutely nothing about it if this was going on, but had all the knowledge that this was going on. Again, hard to believe, but because we have all thought this, we have all speculated this, we believe her statement seems credible. But is it? Because again, It's coming from Jody Sue Brown, which has lied and tried to be relevant in this case since the beginning, stating that she should be the one of, if anybody's making money off Summer Wells, she should be the one that does it. So again, it makes me wonder, is her stuff, is what she's saying true? Or are we wanting to believe it's true because we have all speculated the same exact thing? Just because we've all speculated it and she's saying it out of her mouth still doesn't make it true. Or is it? This is the problem we have when we're dealing with a compulsive liar and a narcissist. It makes it hard to determine fact from fiction. But let's keep watching. We're not done yet.
But she's aware that he's selling this to Candace, and not just to Candace or for Dawn, but for the children as well. Why would they need, Candace, substances for the children? Was it to keep them quiet so we don't have this situation?
Summer, what are you doing? You have that in your face.
Summer, stop. I did it.
Summer, what are you doing? You have that in your face.
Summer, stop. I did it.
An overexcitable Summer who...
Yes, that is photos from our group in front of their job when we had had enough and confronted both of them to their face.
absolutely loved life and loved to be fun and, you know, happy and running around. Was she too much for them?
We're gonna
I've
hit a
been
little.
getting paid $1,000 a month, if not more, just from this app on my phone.
We gotta make sure we support Crime Stories Obsessed. Love it.
Oh my god! Do another one. Girl, your ass about to get hit in the face.
Who knows?
With the shit he was selling. Go ask. Because I have fucking questions.
Where were those effing questions at the beginning of this case? Right? She has questions now, a year and what, several weeks later? Now she has questions. Now it's a problem for her. Now she wants to know why he did it. Maybe because he was supporting your habit as well. If this is true, again, big if, because we have to realize this is coming from the biggest liar of this case on YouTube, and who I truly believe Leslie Earhart was referring to as people intentionally injecting false information and false narratives in this case to intentionally thwart the investigation. It makes you wonder why Jody Sue Brown keeps trying to meddle in this case, so much so. Oh, mama, here. No, you can come in. I'm not on the screen. Come get you some coffee. Say hi, Mama Bullhorn.
Good morning, everyone.
Mama Bullhorn in the house, getting her first cup of coffee. So now we're listening to this. Is she being truthful? Is she not being truthful? We all thought this. This particular scenario has come across our minds more than we would like to admit. More than, you can open that door now. I just kept it closed so I didn't wake you. More than we would like to admit.
You have questions, Jody. We all have questions. She's saying that over there at 110 Ben Hill Road, the children were being touched. The little girls were being touched. Now let's just remember that there's only one little girl living at 110 Ben Hill Road. So what does she mean by girls? Well, I think she means Summer's little friend that lived not far away, and we'll get into that in a minute.
And I found about a few days before all the shit went down. I'm not kidding, dude.
Why now after 12 months? Do the TBI know? Why did you stand back and allow this to happen?
Not standing in front of.
I want you guys to put I think Emma had a great point. Why did you stand back and let this happen? Now, if we take Jody Sue, I'm not going to ask the audience, do they believe Jody Sue or not believe Jody Sue? Because I'm pretty sure it's going to be a 50-50, but maybe we will. Maybe we will. But I want you guys, listen to the question here. Actually, let me rewind that just a tad, and then we'll have the question.
No. Why did you stand back and allow this to happen?
So if this is true, don't we all put a 1 in the box if you have a problem with why that, or let me ask you this. Put a 1 in the chat if you believe Jody Sue, whether this is true or untrue, whether you believe Jody Sue, if this is true, why she stood back and let this happen. Wouldn't we agree if she knew about it and did nothing about it, especially being a female and a mom? Don't we all want to know why she would have allowed this to happen? Put a 2 if you believe she has no culpability. If this is true, she would have no culpability in doing a damn thing for these kids across the street if she knew it was happening. Exactly. And, you know, if you do have a 2, I mean, don't be shy. You know, if we like people that, you know, are honest. This is interactive. We don't attack people that don't agree. Okay, let's keep going.
Not standing in front of him. Not standing in front of him.
So what she was
not standing in front of him anymore, like she was the keeper of everything. She seems to think in her delusional head that she must be the mayor of Rogersville, Tennessee, that she is the one that gets to say who gets to come there, who gets to do what. She is like the communist leader of Rogersville, Tennessee. You do as Jody Sue Brown once, right? She, to me, seems to be the biggest problem.
Was scared of him. She wasn't standing in front of him, and she's not standing in front of him anymore, so she can open up. She can say what she knows, yeah? So she's got receipts that just a couple of days before Summer went missing, she was aware that there was things going on at that house.
So Jody Sue Brown says she has receipts that days before Summer went missing, this type of conduct was going on. That means she knew before Summer disappeared. She knew, according to her statement, Jody Sue Brown's statement, she says she knew before Summer went missing that this kind of conduct was going on. Do we think she picked up the phone and called TBI and told them of these claims when Summer went missing? No. You know what she did? She told him she heard an animalistic type of scream, but not. What the hell does that mean? I'd like to know what she meant by that.
That her partner was selling substances to that address for the children, that it was for the children as well as for Candace, and she knew that little girls were being touched over that days before Summer went missing.
And I got the fucking receipts on it. And I'm sure law enforcement.
Now, let me ask you guys this. Do you think her having receipts for this type of conduct makes her look good? Do you guys think this makes her look good, that she knew this was going on and now over a year later she's telling us about it? But not just because she wants to let the world know, but because her ex was on this crowdsource Illuminations podcast. Right? What did Snow say? Yeah. Let's not forget, months ago, JS was on Doug's panel crying and sticking up for Andy. Now she's afraid. I call BS. Beautifully written. Absolutely, Snow. Absolutely. Just the insanity of this woman. The insanity of her. And she thinks this makes her look good? I'm just in awe right now. My mouth is like wide open. Oh, I'm hitting the wrong side.
It does as well.
Wait a minute. You're sure law enforcement?
I want you to hear that because I was talking over it. Now, she's not saying that law enforcement knows this because she told them. She says, I'm sure they know. So that means she never told them about this, nor proffered those receipts that she supposedly has.
And I got the fucking receipts on it. And I'm sure law enforcement does as well.
Wait a minute. You're sure law enforcement knows? I'm sure law enforcement knows. Well, I'm sure they probably don't know, so why haven't you told them? Like, you've spoken to them, so why haven't you told them that you have receipts and that you can show for definite that that's what was going on? Because you're getting on YouTube every single day in order to just waffle on and barely say much of anything. Dropping bombshells like this 12 months into the case after Summer's been missing for 12 months. And you're sure, well, you think, that the TBI are aware of this.
He had known Summer was also being abused, and he hid it from everybody, including me.
This is a man.
He knew. Andy knew. He must have admitted then, maybe. I don't know. But
If Andy knew, if they are thick as thieves and Andy knew this was going on, and she seems like she surely knows that this was going on, why is she just now making this statement? Why did she not reach out to TBI or the FBI early on and tell them? Many of people in here were talking about how Jody Sue Brown was sticking up for Andy, right, at the beginning. Now she's saying, well, I'm not in front of him anymore. Like, I'm not protecting him anymore. I'm not going to protect him anymore. This has all the hallmarks of two things. She's finally breaking her silence because she couldn't control herself when she saw her ex on another panel with another woman, or she just knew this was going on the whole time and she lied about it. It's hard to tell because she has been pegged as the biggest liar on YouTube, right? She has been pegged that. She pegged her own self as that because everything she says has been debunked. Is this going to be another theory yet debunked when we've all been thinking this has been going on for some time? I don't think this scenario has not crossed every single person in this chat's mind. Guys, don't forget to give me a thumbs up on this video. It really does help the algorithm. If you have not yet thumbs up, please do. We have over 400 people in the chat. We should have at least 200 likes. Can somebody give me my likes, my like count before we go further? Jody Sue is just a distraction, Sharon Tuck says. I agree, hands down, a distraction. Jody Sue is painting herself into a corner. This is going to turn out stinky. I agree. Oh, so we do have a perfect. We already have our 219. Perfect. You guys rock today. Let's try to make it 300.
But apparently he knew that Summer was getting essayed next door at 110.
And he was very much selling drugs to the children at 110. And to Candace 4.
And she knows this and has known this. If this is true, that this was going on, and she stood by and allowed it to go on as a mother and as a woman. This is one, even if she's lying about all of this, again, despicable POS for doing this, because you have now have thrown yet another monkey wrench into this investigation, taking valuable resources from the Summer Wells case to now investigate this new claim that might be a lie. And if it is true, how dare you keep this locked up inside you this long when that poor baby has been missing for over a year? This is sick, twisted crap. Jody Sue, when I think you can't become more of a piece of garbage, a piece of crap, you prove me wrong. Just when I think you can't go any lower, When I think that you have literally hit rock bottom, you find a way to dig yourself even deeper.
Those children.
So you do know it was happening. You know.
And I want you guys to see this. This is off topic real quick, but look at all that garbage. Look at all those big sticks and branches up on the shoreline because the water has receded. This was all under Summer Wells' feet. I went out there personally and swam in this muck, and it was disgusting. It was stinky. It hurt my feet. I don't know why a child was even in this water. I digress. That was off topic and a tangent. Let's get back to Jody Sue.
What was going on next door?
Now, what all that was, I don't know. But I do know it was happening. And I very...
She knew. Look at her face. She's saying, I knew it was happening. She didn't say, I now know it was happening. She said, I knew it was happening. I knew. So she knew this was going on. Now, if we take this story as true, she knew this was going on, and not only knew it was going on, but failed to protect those children, failed to call it into the Department of Children's Services, failed to notify law enforcement, failed to tell any law enforcement after she went missing. She knew this entire time. Again, when I think you can't be any lower, Jody Sue Brown, you prove me wrong.
Very much think it plays a role in what was happening to other little girls over there.
Yep, so this is where we get into other little girls over there. Now we know, as we've just said, that there is only one child, one girl, should I say, at that address. But we've seen photos of other little girls playing there, and one of them was Summer's little friend.
Now I want you guys to look at this, and this is something I caught on. I didn't catch it the first time I watched this video when it came out from Crime Stories Obsessed. But when I looked at this photo, look how Summer Wells is standing. She can't even stand up straight. Now, this could be just a bad capture of the photo. You know, maybe she was getting up off the ground and that's just how the phone was captured. But it doesn't appear that way because she's holding her friend's hand and she's barely being able to stand up straight. She's almost hunched over as if maybe she's in pain. You know, this particular photograph concerns me just a little bit.
Now, as far as I'm aware, I've got to be very careful how I word this. So let's just see what she's got to say about this first.
And I very much do think that it could be part of why Summer looks so asleep. Is maybe possibly Candace giving her the shit Andy was selling to her.
There's no shortage of options to use on Etsy Seller for places you can go to find numbers about how keywords would perform.
So go ask.
Because he's going to tell us, yeah? He's going to tell us when we ask him. Mm-hmm.
And I think that it was occurring since before the Utah trip. And
so before the Utah, sorry about that. Let me pull this off. I hit a button. But before the Utah trip, she believes it happens. It was happening before the Utah trip. Hold on, let me pause this. I think we were about right. Let me find that photo. We were almost to the end. Yeah, she says that she believes this was happening before the Utah trip with the drugs and everything else, that Josie had to leave with his father to go to Utah because of the substance abuse, so to speak. That's what she said. But you are sending Josie with a substance abuse problem with a father that has a substance abuse problem. Again, it just doesn't make sense in my mind. I don't know how the audience feels about it. I'm still not convinced 100% that this story is even true because we know how vindictive Jody Sue is. Was this just an attack to cause that she thought at the time? Because remember, this all happened, boom, 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 boom. Did she think that she was going out and going to to make Andy look bad. And then come to find out Andy's not looking bad. It's making her look worse because she's saying she knew that this stuff was going on and sat back and did nothing as a mother of a daughter and a woman herself. You know, if I knew something like this was going on, I would be standing at that front door calling law enforcement and not leaving until law enforcement showed up and giving them all the information that was going on in that house to save those children. I wouldn't be sitting across the street at my house saying, oh, well, go over and sell it to him, honey. I need the money so I can, you know, do my own substances or grab my own pills or whatever she's doing. Who does that? What piece of garbage woman does that? Now, I may have just jumped ahead a little bit. I may have to go back, so I apologize about that. I hit the wrong button when I was trying to pause it, so I apologize, but let's just get back to it. I may have to rewind it just a little bit, but we'll see where we're at.
Josie was taken to Utah, even though that was kind of fucking
I did pretty good.
right? Why he went to Utah. But it's Amy's fault. And Candace's.
Yeah. So what I heard was, and this was a while ago, that the boys were also taking things, the oldest boy at least. And
I want to say this, that with our Dudley Ajan interview, he even acknowledged seeing Don Wells smoking marijuana with Josie. He saw it with his own eyes, So again, there's been a lot of people that saw this and did not report this to law enforcement at the time.
there was something going on between the eldest boy and this little girl. I don't know how old she was, one of Summer's friends that came up to the house. And that's one of the reasons why he got sent to Utah.
Remember Candace saying Josie was, or Ella, or one of them, talking about how Josie was using it, and it was the reason he was taking it. It's not the reason Josie was taking it there. But shit occurring around that time is why. He's responsible for it. From before Utah until. So you go ask him why he was selling drugs to those children.
No, we're going to ask you why you did nothing about it if you knew this was going on. We're going to ask you why you, as a woman, as a mother of a daughter, did nothing but allow this to go on under your watch. We're going to ask you. We're not going to ask him. We're going to ask you why you did nothing about this. Because clearly you knew.
And Candace for the children.
Yeah, which is what I think that I was told. And I've never made a video on it because I don't think it's right to. I think it's something the TBI need to deal with. So what do you make of this, guys? What do you think about this situation? I mean, it's annoyed me this morning, to be honest, when I woke up and I made it.
Don't worry, Emma. It's annoyed every single person that's been following this case, that this despicable woman is either lying or telling the truth. And if she's telling the truth, she's even a bigger POS. If she's lying, she's just as much as a POS. Because why would you intentionally throw a lie into the case that is already complicated enough for Summer Wells? And if this is true, shame on you, little girl. Shame on you.
The community post, and it said, you said in your live that you knew Andy B was selling stuff to Candace and for the kids. You knew SA was going on there, or Andy did, and you knew why Josie got sent to Utah. I'm sorry, but if you knew that your man was selling hard stuff to the kids next door, that there was SA going on, and you know why Josie ended up in Utah, then you're part of the problem.
Amen.
You sat back and said nothing. But every day you come on YouTube, show your face. I said you're a narcissist. You always think that it is everybody else's problem. You need to stand back, look at yourself, You knew what was going on at 110 Ben Hill Road. You knew Candace was giving stuff to minors. You assumed it was to keep Summer quiet. You knew about the boys, but you said nothing. Because what would it have done? Incriminated you too?
Amen.
I cannot condone this behaviour or sympathise with you at all. I cannot watch you stare at the screen, saying very little, nearly falling asleep, mumbling for a few bucks, and then dropping a bombshell 12 months after the fact. I'm sorry, but it's disgusting. And that's what I was saying in my community post. I stand by that. We all have people that we watch, and I'm not going to say, you know, don't watch this person, don't watch that person, just as you can't tell me who to watch. And we all have opinions and things about different situations, but I just cannot condone this behaviour at all. I'd be really interested to know what you think, guys. Please let me know in the comment section below this video, but I am just annoyed and shocked. Well, shocked that it's taken 12 months to come out. Not shocked that it happened. More annoyed.
Thanks.
Hi guys. Well,
thanks, Emma with Crime Stories Obsessed. She's across the pond, as many of you guys know. And just thankful for her, you know, her dedication to this case, her exposing a lot. She has a lot of content for being across the pond and being able to get the content she does. You know, kudos to her. I'm very, again, I adore Emma. I think she's great. And we have Emma in here, Sepsis Kills as well. And I adore her. I adore the Emma. And they're both across the pond. So not to confuse one Emma from the other. This is Emma with Crime Stories Obsessed. So definitely thank you very much for that. And I'm glad she was able to capture that, because quite frankly, I did not see this come out of Jody Sue Brown's mouth. I would have recorded it myself. So I had the full recording, but I didn't. I missed it. I saw her pop up and I'm like, I can't handle her voice one more moment. Right. So I didn't even watch, and I wish I would have. Becky says, I didn't make the vigil, had a death in the family. Thank you for all you do for Summer. I wish I could send you more. You so deserve. Oh, thank you, Becky. I appreciate it. Thank you, Love Bug. Yes, it was my honor to help work with other individuals, other creators, to put together such a beautiful event. It was really nice. And again, it feels good to do good. So we all did our part. I hope you were able to watch it online. You know, we fought tooth and nail to make sure that somebody was going live, and we had more than not going live for the vigil there, as well as the other vigils that happened around Kingsport as well. So it was a beautiful day. It was very nice. And then we get this piece of crap, Jody Sue Brown, saying this bombshell revelation that could or could not be true. Because like I always say, once you catch somebody in a lie, you have to, it's hard to take anything they say from that point as true. And we've caught, and again, thank you, Cindy. Sorry for your loss, Becky, as well. Sorry about that. You know, death in the family is not good. The one good thing we can say is that at least Doug Live, his family is not dealing with that this morning. From his attack from another YouTuber. And, you know, it's always sad, but with every life comes death, and it's sad. It's the wheel of life. And I don't know what the situation was, whether it was untimely or not, but I know even if it was expected, you're never prepared for it. I know that from personal experience. But, you know, a lot of us have thought Jody Sue was hiding something. Jody Sue was lying about something. Jody Sue, you know, we knew she was despicable. We just didn't know how despicable she could possibly be. And it's just like I said earlier, just when we think she can't go any lower, she proves us all wrong. She literally proves us all wrong. So I've just got a couple other things that are actually one other thing that I'm going to go over, and then I'm going to open up the phone lines. Oh, thank you, Kay. Thank you so much. You know what? It's possible. There's something going on with this lady where she has to try to get all the attention. It's just something is not right with her. Something is not right with her. And it's making me question whether or not she is telling the truth. Like and the reason why I say that is because we've all speculated that the SA was going on, that the substances were going on, that it was a possibility that parents were giving the kids substances. I mean, even when we were outside of Allie's house, you know, Sherry was talking about how she's watched them physically, visually watched Candace tip all the kids out of the bottle. That means they take the bottle and put it right up to their lips and make them drink it. It's some sick, twisted stuff. And again, why I'm a little upset as to why these parents have not been prosecuted for the low-hanging fruit, the child welfare crimes that they committed, not just on Summer, but all those boys. They still have not been held accountable. And as a matter of fact, Don B just came out with a video, didn't have a chance to watch it, just read the title, that it's possible that Candace might be able to get the boys back. Are you kidding me? Just when I think Tennessee can't be any more dysfunctional, I hear something like that it's possible that Candace might be able to get those boys back. And I'm just flabbergasted. Absolutely flabbergasted. So the next thing that I just want to talk about, and then I'm going to open the phone lines and we can talk about, Doug, we can talk about Jody Sue Brown, we can talk about Ernie Shell. Ernie Shell, you know, we see him, he's now back out. He's on YouTube. He's doing YouTube lives again. And I'm sure, I heard he got the law called on him yet again by another creator, again, online bullying, online harassment, and using law enforcement as a weapon for creators is disgusting to me. We all know who's involved in that. Again, refuse to say these creators' names. They don't deserve the platform. Governor Bill Lee, you need to be ousted. Yeah, if they can't get a handle on this, I mean, this is getting ridiculous. And, right now I want to focus on getting letters out to YouTube as well as the FBI. And then after that, I think we are going to be, because, this is grave concern for me. But we could also do double duty and start working on getting letters to go to Governor Bill Lee, writing a letter campaign to him saying, what in the world is going on? Why are these things not happening? And listing everything that we have learned about Summer Wells and her case, and expressing our concern as to why his state prosecutors are doing absolutely nothing. Because this is a concern for me. His state prosecutors are doing absolutely nothing for the benefit of those boys or Summer as a whole. Their home was not livable or safe for children. The children were removed. There's one missing child. Candace had another set of children removed, forcibly removed, where she had to go to jail for pointing a shotgun at a caseworker. This is serious stuff. This is past behavior. This is showing a pattern of behavior. And this is just, I don't know where this would be acceptable anywhere else. And it's just a concern for me, a very big concern. Many of you guys know we've also been following the Dylan Round case. If you guys watch this channel, you know I sent out a video about this case last night. A man that lived near, only 5 miles away from Dylan Round's property. He was squatting in a trailer according to the arrest record or arrest warrant, there was a .22 caliber rifle at that property that he ended up handing over after law enforcement questioned him in the Dylan Rounds case. He took all of his black powder pistols as well as that .22 caliber rifle over to his friend's house for safekeeping because the man, James Brenner, was a felon in possession of firearms. They did find the caps and things like that the day that they questioned him, but they left it there and left. And then Brenner called his friend with the initials CH and handed him all of his guns, including that .22 rifle, stating that, the last time he had a run-in with law enforcement, they took all of his stuff, and he does not want his stuff being taken, the last of the stuff he owns, taken by law enforcement. So he asked his friend CH to hold them for safekeeping until this matter was resolved. And now that friend, told law enforcement, and therefore has turned over those weapons, including the .22 caliber rifle that was in the possession of James Brenner, again, a convicted felon, which is not supposed to have firearms in his possession. And he was only merely 5 miles away. Why is this important? Because as we see in all the photos, Dylan Rounds was in a desolate, very rural area. And to have somebody that was only 5 miles away, that's a convicted felon squatting and has possession of firearms, and not just black powder pistols, but now a .22 caliber rifle that was left in the trailer that he is squatting in, this is a cause for concern. Typically, I've learned this early on, homicide and missing persons investigations, they don't care about small potato crimes. They don't care about them. They are not going to report them. What they want is any and all information related to that particular crime that they're investigating, right? They're the homicide, they're not the armed robbery investigators. They're not gun investigators. They're not misdemeanor. They're homicide investigators or missing person investigators. So for them to, file this warrant for this neighbor, it almost tells me that there may be more going behind the scenes, because this is a tactic that is used by law enforcement, where they do go for that low-hanging fruit while they build a case. And if we recall the conversation his grandmother stated she had with him the last time she spoke to him, he was trying to get home to put the grain truck in the barn, because he didn't want his grain getting ruined as it was about to start raining. He was rushing home, and he talked to her about this weird guy walking down the road with no feet that looked like he was under the influence of other substances or alcohol, trying to use his phone and get a ride. And Dylan Rounds told him no. That was the last time she spoke to him. So they always wondered, was this carried out by that weird guy that he saw walking down the road? Could that weird guy that he saw walking down the road, remember, James Brenner was only 5 miles away from his property in that big nothing out there, right? So it almost seems like that might have been the man that he came into contact with on the road that day. It's possible. We don't know. I want to make sure we know that I have no information whether that be the case or not. I'm just saying that seems probable to me. It seems probable to me. Yes, Mary Jane. When they went out to his property, his shoes were there. That means Dylan Rounds would have been barefoot. His truck the seat had been pushed up further than what Dylan Rounds would have used. The 4-wheel drive was engaged, even though Dylan knew that the 4-wheel drive did not work on his truck. Therefore, he would never have engaged it. And the truck it appeared that the truck had been cleaned. So this is somebody, and I said this early on, that it appears that this would have been somebody that was comfortable in that environment, that knew the comings and goings of that person on that farm, i.e. Dylan Rounds, what his comings and goings were, because nobody does this stuff or takes the time to clean a vehicle if they don't know they have time to clean the vehicle. So this is somebody that knew what was going on, knew the area very well, as if they were a neighbor. So it does have all the hallmarks. In my opinion, this is a huge break in the Dylan Rounds case, to have James Brenner in jail right now on these gun charges. So hopefully they get to the bottom of it now that they've got him behind bars. Maybe they can question him. Maybe they can apply pressure. Maybe he will tell them if he's responsible. Maybe he will tell them where Dylan is. With the reward money, there is reward money that was offered by Dylan Rounds' family, $100,000 reward for the safe return of Dylan Rounds. or any information regarding their son that ends in the successful prosecution of the person responsible for Dylan Rounds. So it wasn't just for the safe return, which signals to me that the parents are, you'll never be prepared. You'll never be prepared what is to come, even if you try to put your mind. But, every passing day, he hasn't talked on his cell phone. He hasn't went to his bank. There's no bank activity, no cell phone activity. I'm sure that, moms have this internal gut feeling. And I'm sure that they know at this point that there's something more going on, and he would never not reach out to them. He would never not need to go get money to go on his way to do the things that he does. I think at this point, they are preparing for the absolute worst, and it's got to be heartbreaking. It's got to be heartbreaking, and it's got to be agony every single day. Yeah, exactly. I know diabetics that have no feet, so it is possible. Yeah, I just walked into a conversation. Apparently, I was surprised when I called the hotline for child abuse. The first statement that was be careful about what you're reporting, because if it is false, you could be liable for 5 years. Maybe because people are utilizing that service to punish people. They're utilizing a government service to harass people. And you know what? I hope they start applying this. It's all about, if you have rules, you need to apply them. You need to, if somebody's doing something wrong and they did it in with malice, they should be held liable. They should be prosecuted. And I hope they start doing that, because this is becoming a major problem. When people first started swatting, there was no laws on the books for swatting. Guess what? Our legislatures made those laws. So if anybody did that, they could be held criminally liable. I have actually been threatened to be swatted. You know what I did? I took the email and sent it directly over to my sheriff. That's the kind of stuff if anybody ever threatens me, it goes straight. I go file a police. I document literally everything. When I'm out in the field, I literally record everything. I want to make sure that I'm as safe as possible, and I put contingencies in place. Should something happen to me, there would be, something there for them to use to find out what happened. Now, it's sad that you have to think like that, but in this day and age, you have to. You have to. Me too, sweet Melissa. Me too. And it's done all the time. We just watched it again happen last night to Ernie's show. We just watched it happen again last night to Ernie's show, because a creator believes, has no receipts, has no information, but he has it in his head that it is this man that called the Department of Children's Services on him, and he's going to do everything he can day in and day out to weaponize law enforcement against this particular content creator that we know as Ernie's show. So it happens all the time, guys. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to open the phone lines up for just a little bit, probably not as long as we typically do, because we're already on 2 hours. And like I said, Mama Bullhorn's in the house and we've got stuff to get done today. Don't want it to be a waste of a day. So just FYI, let me go ahead and get over here and get these lines open. All this work just to get a line open. All right, guys. Let me know your thoughts. Call in. Tell me how you feel. How do you feel about this new Jody Brown statement? Tell me how you feel about what's going on with Doug Live. Again, before we leave here, we are going to have, a prayer, just a, little prayer hands and just a few moments of silence. So we can, give the good vibes for his heart surgery today. He was going into heart surgery. He may already be out and in recovery. I have no clue, but we still want to, guys, we got together and the power of prayer worked yesterday. He opened his eyes. And I believe if we can give that same good vibe today, his heart surgery will be successful. And just want to make sure that happens, because nobody deserves to go through what he did. So guys, call in 941-405-3357, 941-405-3357. Tell me your thoughts. I want to hear it. We're not going to limit people to 5 minutes today. I'll limit to them about 8 minutes. It seems like that's what we can do. Let's see here. Hi, Birdie. Nice to see you. Yeah, but the problem is they're not, like Ernie's not reporting this, right? He doesn't know how. He needs help. We need to help Ernie report this stuff. We need to help Ernie. We need to reach out to him and start getting behind him so we can report this. Whether we like Ernie or not, that does not matter. It's the action. It's the fact that we don't want this happening to another creator, especially one that we do like. And if Ernie is the one that we can help get this pushed through, then let's do it. People need to leave Ernie alone. Yeah, they do. Enough's enough. I'm tired of it. So again, I've got to sit here. It's not going to be today because Mama Bullhorn's here and I got things I got to get done today. But next week, we are really going to start hitting this head on and figuring what the best approach is. And right now, I think to start out, we're going to start out very benign and just start sending letters to YouTube. If you guys want to, put URLs, address specific bully creators, do that. Because we're going to make sure that we use the rules inside of the YouTube's community standard policies. We're going to use their language and explain how they're not enforcing their own rules. I have to think that YouTube is so big that they don't realize they're not enforcing the rules. And it's up to us to make sure, politely, we're not going to be nasty with YouTube. There's no point in that. They're a company that tries to, have a good user environment. So we're not going to be nasty to YouTube. We're just going to politely and kindly let them know what's truly going on here. And we're not sending it directly to YouTube's headquarters. We're sending it to YouTube's legal department, their legal department. So I'll be getting all that information here shortly so we can make sure that if YouTube doesn't know, that they are now aware of what's going on and what's going on to some creators. And we're going to express those things in writing. And when we get those all together, I will make sure that it gets out to each and every one of you. So if you guys want to participate, if you guys want this to end, if we never want to have to deal with something like we're dealing right now with Doug Live, where it's just horrific. One of the nicest guys on YouTube, that of all people this happening to, it is just sad. Can you text to this number? You can, but I won't read the text. It wouldn't be any different than you making a post in here. So if you would like to, you can always email me if you have something you just want me to know about. You can email me at bullhornbetty@gmail.com. And that's for Kristen. Phone number to YouTube, anything I can talk to them about what I've witnessed. Well, the problem is it's hard to get them on the phone. And that's why it's so important to have this mail campaign. This is Betty.
This is CCT.
Hey.
I'm offline. I'm traveling. But I'm listening to you. And I had a thought.
Mm-hmm.
I believe the technical people for YouTube are broken off in regions, districts, territories. And I think, I don't know how wide this is, but could it be a regional issue with YouTube staffing allowing this stuff?
I hear what your question is.
Sitting on their fist, leaning back on their thumb kind of thing, and
Yeah.
just not doing their job.
I hear what you're saying. I'm not quite sure. Good morning, by the way. I'm not quite sure that it's a regional issue. I think that there's so much coming in at once that they're only addressing the one complaint. They're not addressing them in in the totality, the collective, it collectively. Like, they're not looking when they get like an ad suitability or say a harassment claim. They're looking at that one specific video. They're not going to their account, at least my understanding. They're not going to their account and actually looking at the account to see the pattern of behavior or to see if if that creator is violating the terms of service. But either way, I even if it is regional, I think that by people showing up in force, uniting against this online bullying and sending it to the legal department of YouTube, I think it will help prompt changes or at least the enforcement of their rules that they currently have set forth.
I'm sorry. I'm just trying to fight off an asthma attack. My question is, if everybody mails in individually, would that be more effective than, say, a class action?
Yeah, it would be. Because think about it. If everybody sent, say, 1,000 people or 2,000 people sent in a letter to the legal department of YouTube, they would have to open 1,000 or 2,000 letters as opposed to one.
Well, the other thing is,
and not only that, but you're talking about YouTube here, which actually, a class action lawsuit to me seems a little overboard at this stage. Once you address it with them, you give them an opportunity to cure the discrepancy or to cure the issue at hand. And then if they choose not to, or choose to even go against their own rules on here, then, the next step might be, hiring an attorney and going that route. But I don't think that's necessary. I really think that, at least at this point, a major letter campaign that we can get some, creators, like we have MGL, we have Justice for All, we have Don B, we have Ernie Shell. We have a lot of creators that have experienced this that can get their audience on board with writing this letter or having a template and just printing it out and mailing it and telling them that we're done with this. YouTube needs to do more. It's gotten out of hand.
It has.
Yeah.
It has. And I've been a subject of, in my past life, of that kind of behavior. And so have my daughters. So, yes, I agree wholeheartly.
Gotcha.
Something has to be done. Have a great day.
You too. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. So there we heard from ZZT. She's been in this chat, pretty active member in this chat for some time now. I have to concur that, she's looking at a much larger thing, but I think at this point, we just need to give them, let YouTube know that we're kind of tired of it and give them an opportunity to cure the issue. I think that is the best strategy at this point. If you guys have other thoughts on how to address this, I'm without a doubt open-minded. This has got to be something that's done collectively and collaboratively with other creators. So I hope I get the support of my counterparts on this platform. But this doesn't just happen here in the true crime. This is just where we all are, right? This is happening in the yarn community. This is happening in the candle community. This is happening in the craft community. This is not unique to the true crime community. Now, I believe it's a much worse in the true crime community. I could be wrong. That's just my opinion. This is Betty.
Hi, Betty. How are you today?
Good. Let me actually, hold on. Let me just do something real quick. Let me move this around because I just realized I don't have this even up. So it's probably hard for the audience to hear. I don't know. But let me just put this up. There we go. All right. There we go. Now you can talk.
Okay. I'd rather stay anonymous, if you don't mind.
Nope. Don't mind at all.
But I'm very in deep with the Summer Wells case. And I will say I have top-notch experience behind me. I keep low key on things, but I wanted to fill you in on a bit of information.
Perfect.
And it's in regards to Jody Sue. So let's go back when she was doing Facebook, okay? When she was doing Facebook, she was more interactive. Sorry, my cat loves to say hello to people when I'm talking.
We love animals.
He gets so jealous when I talk to anybody. You want to say hi to the beautiful people?
Well, hello, kitty.
He's looking at me.
Aww.
I just pushed him away. Okay, so at that time when she was on Facebook, I went in as an anonymous person to try and, ask her questions and things like that. And she was pretty open to answering questions. And basically, the question that I asked broke the ice to knowing that everything that Jody Sue has been saying is not true. So I'm going to share this with you because maybe some other people were there, some other people might be aware of it. Okay, so my question was, when she, stated that she went over to the property and she saw the boys. This was the first story. She saw the boys. They weren't searching for Summer. They were just playing, and she went over to the boys for some reason, right? So my questions to her were, because I was trying to work on a timeline at the time, right? First of all, the first question I said was, is Grandis there? Was Grandis there? Because we know from what Grandis said in the interview that she was watching the boys on the hill, which I thought was odd. I mean, she's elderly, she's got a sore knee. If something happened, how she could run down. And she said, no, Grandis wasn't there. Well, that was it for me. Case solved. Because basically, Grandis was there. So I knew that there was no truth to her being there. And if she was there, she was just being a nosy neighbor. And that's really, really what I think. She's just a busybody, nosy neighbor. Now, I won't tell you how I know, but Candace has also brought this out. So Candace had said that Jody Sue did come over. She was, constantly being a nosy neighbor. They really weren't friends. They really weren't connected. And she had said that she never babysat the kids. I think maybe some of her dogs were over there or something like that. But so I go in the timeline with Jody Sue. This is 2 years ago. And then they had a falling out. And then when something happened, obviously she went over there. And as far as any of these things that she's saying, as a body language expert, that's a hint. I'm telling you, she's not telling the truth. Nothing is in rapport with her body language. It just isn't. Why she wants to come out with this, I just think that she just wants attention. If that was the case, I would think that I agree with you and everybody. Why wouldn't she report it if that was the case? Because she would know something was going on. Anyone with the right common sense of mind would know that if you're giving drugs to underage children or whatever, to do something about it. And let's just say that that was going on, then is there an entwine to allegedly her getting her supply and now throwing her ex-husband, I don't even know what he is, under the bus, right? So I just think that I take everything with a grain of salt. It breaks the internet every time she comes on. Everybody's focusing on Jody Sue's narrative, and it gets nowhere. It just is not getting anywhere. We have to dive into all these people, and the reason is because they say suspects. But I talked to Chris M. in regards to this, about suspects one night on a live. And he said some very interesting things. He said it's not necessarily the main characters around the area. It is potentially people that are connecting that, like he mentioned a couple of things. He mentioned if there's drugs involved, then it would be those people who they would look into. So when he says suspects, he said it's just people kind of like what we get in the storyline of ABCD, all these people who are connected with maybe drugs, maybe trafficking, maybe blah, 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 going all the way along. And I have to agree that that investigation would take a very long time to try and filter out and stem down. And my question to him was, well, to me, it's the main players who were there on the property who saw Summer last, but they still have to, go through. But he directly could have said, because I said, why don't they take those people off? And they can't take anyone off. But as far as JS goes, I just do not feel that she's anything but a busybody, a person who wants to entwine maybe her personal life and throw maybe Andy under the bus, because basically the bottom line, if that was the case and all of this, TBI or whoever it works out there would have gone to her after last night and talked to her or pulled her in, and there would have been some sort of maybe arrest or something, That's just all I really have to say about that.
Yeah. And that's what makes it so difficult because, again, we've all, this, what she stated on her video is what has passed almost every person that I've spoke to's mind at some point. So it's almost like we almost want to believe her because we've all thought this. But again, it's coming from Jody Sue's mouth, which makes us question if it's even true because she's been caught lying so much. When law enforcement comes out publicly and says a statement is unfounded, and then she says that she could, if she got a sketch artist, she could tell them, she could have them draw this person and they don't send her a sketch artist, that's law enforcement not believing a damn thing that she has to say, period, first and foremost.
Right.
And then you hear this
story.
And I guarantee, even though people were told, if you hear something online or from a YouTube channel, not to call it into law enforcement unless you have firsthand knowledge of it. I guarantee after that statement was released from Jody Sue, Hawkins County as well as TBI were probably blowing up. What I think happened is that I can't imagine her not being visited by law enforcement after that. And she may have taken that down.
Visited. Trust me, she's been visited. She's got, them coming up her driveway quite often. They're watching, they're listening. They do that in a lot of cases. They have people out there doing that in a lot of cases, right? Going back to, in regards to the drugs, if you can recall in DM's interview with H, Allie had stated that it wasn't uncommon for kids to smoke pot or something. And it's no big deal. A lot of kids smoke pot, right? But what she had said was something different. It wasn't just pot. It was pills to make these
It was hard substances.
Lethargic in a way, implying the next thing that popped in our mind. If you're making little girls lethargic, why? Is it because you're calming them down? Like, I know some people, there's some badass people out there that literally give very hyper kids drugs to make them lethargic, but that is so that they calm down, not to do something other than what our imagination may lead to that are very nefarious and terrible that I don't even like to speak on. You know what I'm saying? And she's making that implication, right? That, to me, in my personal opinion, that's what she's implying. Okay, what are they doing with these little girls afterwards, right?
Yeah.
Because we know that the storyline is there. It's true. John's admitted certain allegations that he's done. So we are getting her narrative, and we're kind of, to me, adding to what we kind of know is around the hill and the kind of people and nefarious things that they do. But I really do not feel that they would be doing something like that. I just don't think they would go that far as maybe, calming them down. But as far as, the implications from that, I don't really know. That would be, I think that the investigators are looking into that. I know that because Chris Sam has implied that so many times. It's deeper than what we think and everything like that, and it might take time. So, I just wanted to cue you in that she never saw Grandis. How can you not see Grandis when she was there?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
yeah. Well,
me,
we have a text from Jody Sue that indicated the next day on the 16th around 10:30 was when she actually couldn't stand being in the house, needed to go help look for a little girl. And the way she sounded, I'm gonna have to find that that text message stream. I've got it on my videos because I did a video about it and showed those.
Yeah.
But I need to do that again because it shows, how she spoke. Like she almost, and I agree with the last call, she almost spoke as if her and Candace weren't friends because she's like, I can't handle another mama, or a mama that's missing her baby and not go out and help. It wasn't like my friend Candace, I can't stand that my friend Candace is her daughter's gone. I need to go out and help her. It was, another mother, as if they didn't have a good relationship.
The neighborly thing, everybody did. Everybody, was out there. I think even, I don't know if it was Fred or, it would be the neighborly thing I would do if somebody's child was missing. We've had dogs, but not children. We'd be out there, you know what I mean? Boots on the ground type thing, right? And I just think that that's the whole thing. And she, maybe everybody has an interpretation. I can look at my lamp right now and think it's straight, and you can look at my lamp and you can think it's crooked.
Right.
I could look at my lamp and say this is green, and you could look at the lamp and say it's gray. You know what I'm saying? So her interpretation to things, in my opinion, are her interpretations, her impressions. Oh, I saw a car, this and that. It was going up, it was going down, it was this color, it was that color. There's hundreds of cars that are driving by until they blocked it off. Once they blocked it off, there was nothing going on. And then the police pretty well knew by then what cars were going because they were already grabbing the camera.
Yeah.
There was one woman, I don't know if you ever saw the film footage of when she was out there when the helicopters were there. Did you ever see that?
I did not see that.
She really explains everything. She explains who was around, this and that, and stuff like that. So I kind of go back from the beginning. And you got to remember, a lot of these YouTubers, they grab all the information from all the people. And I've seen this even when you've done work, that they'll grab information and then they'll get the narrative as if they're the ones that know it all, right? And then they'll maybe twist it or add it to try and gain and garner viewers and attention. And to me, that's what she wants. This woman is online for 7-8 hours a day. Like I'm working, I come home and she's still on, right?
Right.
So she, to me, I can put my personal input in there, but I don't want to. The bottom line is that I think too many people are giving her too much credit.
I agree with that statement. Yeah.
Yeah, they really are. And I think the less that people, it broke the internet last night. Like I was skimming through and there was people who I never even heard of in this case, because a lot of people do cover it, that were talking about it and having people up on the panel and stuff like that. And we're all in the same boat. Like, we all feel the same. So to me, don't give them attention. Just don't. If we all know that if this was true, the bottom line is there would have been an arrest, there would have been a serious investigation, she would be pulled or something like that, right?
There may be a serious investigation. We would be none the wiser at this stage of the game.
And Andy came on one, I don't even know who it was, something crime. He came on to somebody's channel. He was in his truck driving. He answered only a few questions because apparently he's going to have a YouTube channel. I don't know what it's going to be called.
He does have a YouTube channel now.
But I don't know what it's called. I tried to Google it. Somebody said it's Andy. It was an exclamation mark, but I can't find it. Anyways, he answered a few questions, and the couple of questions that he came up with was the time again. His time was different. And he also made mention that he never sent text. And you can Photoshop text. In a case that I worked on years ago in 2017, everybody was faking text. Everybody was faking this receipt and that receipt. And we're a land of receipts. She isn't showing receipts. She might show her truck and be an idiot and do the VIN. And I think the reason why people go to her is to dox her, to find out more information. But I really think she deliberately does this. And she's like dangling these stupid carrots in front of our face, and we're taking the bait, and none of it is really of any value and any purpose.
You're preaching to the choir. I hands down agree with everything you've said. I, without a doubt, have agreed with everything you said.
I never call in. I rarely talk to anybody because the reason is people hate the truth.
Yeah, they do.
They really do, because they want to make money. I'm a truther. I'm a factor.
Yeah.
And there's so many things I've tested where I have said, do this, do this, do this. And I'm out there in the real world doing it, so you know.
Yeah. And
they don't want to do it because they want to keep the narrative going. They want to keep the money coming in, or whatever reason it is. And so, we want to keep someone's name out there, and we always say it. But what we're doing is we're investigating now YouTubers or people who were associated, around there. And it's
convoluted. It's convoluted, and it's causing a lot of problems for law enforcement.
It is.
This whole thing, this whole shenanigans that she pulled. Think about how many resources have had to be pulled from law enforcement investigating legitimate leads on Summer Wells' case to now refocus to find out if these allegations are true.
But the problem is that people keep forgetting there's no lead. There's nothing new that came out recently saying, sorry, folks, it just isn't. We're still going to keep her up there and out there.
Yeah.
And we're, funding is really bad.
Yeah.
So they're looking for funding.
Yeah.
And so that's what the focus should be. So why is everybody talking about it? We're not talking about Summer anymore. We're talking about what people are saying about Summer.
Yeah, we're not talking about Summer. We're actually now talking about Jody Sue Brown.
Right. Like, it's just like with you, they were talking about you all the time, and it was so ridiculous. Like, they're doxing you. Everybody gets doxed, and it's so crazy, and people get mad. And we can use a prime example about how I'll share one story with you, because I'm a truther, that they try to get me off, and they had stalkers, and I literally had to relocate. Because of it.
People don't realize that portion of the story. They don't, people on YouTube that, think these things are funny and provoke their creator to do these type of things, or provoke their audience to do these type of things. They don't realize, like, you've had to relocate because of this nonsense. And that you shouldn't have to do that.
I had to relocate. It was terrible for my whole family. And other people, but at the time too, they were talking subs. So subs have to be very careful too, because these subs who are I call it gang banging. It's just a term I use. When we are, I don't mean that in a sexual way.
Right.
I mean that when we are as people in chat, we can say what we want and we can get our opinion out and we get our feelings out. Well, those people who are also on team whoever, Amber Heard, I'll just use, they can go after the subs, and I've seen many subs being gone after too. And I just want to, put out with Doug that at the beginning when everything was going on, I really appreciated what he did. I mean, he was very close to Brian's body. He could have ran into it if it wasn't for his wife, I believe, saying like, turn back, turn back. And for me to hear what happened to him, it's not uncommon. There have been many curators that I have seen these things happen to. And basically the bottom line is that, you're out there in public media. YouTube's not going to do anything about it. Nobody's going to do anything about it. It is what it is, but there's crackpockets out there. Thank God he's going to come along. I mean, it scares me because I really respected him going out there just like with what you guys did. It wasn't easy. And he was out there just a couple of nights before, and he talked to the new neighbor who had no clue she was living right beside the Laundrie's house. Right. And it's like, okay. So, he's still got boots on the ground out there. He still tries to deliver and everything like that. So, I prayed for him, and, I heard that he was resuscitated at the scene. And I did see a little note from his daughter on a Facebook page yesterday that he's coming along, he's talking, and eventually he'll come to the story. But it's very scary. Everybody's taking a risk. I would never want to go live. I would never want to, be in a position that you're in, like what you do, because of that reason. All the hate, all this, all that, Yeah. So kudos to you, girl.
Well, I appreciate your call. People love your perspective. So thank you. I hope you call back in. We're going to be discussing this topic as well as cases, moving forward. And I just think at this point, and I just, it almost unnerves me a little bit that Jody Sue would have this bombshell, because again, it's taking the focus away from Summer Wells' case. And the reason why I'm kind of incorporating a lot of different cases in now is because I'm trying to let law enforcement handle their business so we can get whoever is responsible for Summer's disappearance behind bars. And at the end of the day, that is the name of the game.
It's natural for all of us to react to what happened.
Yeah.
And I think that now close the door. And I think the best thing is to close the door. And when she comes up with something else, let law enforcement,
deal with it.
Carry it on. It's curators like you that say, listen, you all have your opinion and all that, but common sense, like, logical sense. If this was really the case, then one, we can say she's a terrible person for not, calling it in, or two, let law enforcement deal with it. Yeah. And that's the bottom line. We need to start snuffing out these people who are just bringing out narratives, like pulling off of narratives. That's what they're doing. That's what she's doing.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Day.
Have a wonderful day yourself, TGIF. I hope you have an amazing weekend.
Thank you. You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. So, very good caller. I think many of us can agree with the statements that last caller made. I mean, we agree with a lot of the statements that are made here, whether they're opposing or agreeing. But definitely nice to hear a different perspective. And it was, to me, right on. This is Betty.
Hey, Betty. It's V. Tanya.
Hey. How you doing, girl?
Yeah, how you doing this morning?
Good. So tell me your thoughts.
My thoughts are they're just going to start another channel. They'll just drop their channel, start another channel. Come on,
Mm-hmm.
Right? If they take them off, their channel down, what do?
Start a new channel. And they very well may be, but then they have to build their channel back up. And at this point, maybe some of the people that subscribe to them aren't really interested in their content anymore. There's also
a lot of people are.
Right.
I think that's already happening, when they see how somebody really is. Most people aren't really on that stuff, I'm not. I don't watch that dude anymore for specifically that reason.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got a lot of good stuff to say other than that part of his show. There's a couple of them like that, and I don't even watch anymore. I unsubscribe, and if I see them say something, even if their tagline is something really important, I really fight not to go watch it.
Right.
Because,
it's horrible. But they actually have a rule. I read it. When you're banned, you're not supposed to be able to have another channel. And so that is, and again, it's just forcing YouTube to enforce the rules they already have on the books. That's really, we're not asking them to create new rules. I've read all their rules, and if they just enforced what was on what they already have, we would be in a much better, much more peaceful environment than we are right now.
Right. Well, you got to figure how much does it take to monitor this whole thing. I mean, it's got to be a lot,
Yeah. And people tell me I need to get a job. Trust me, this is a full-time job. And taking on what we're about to take.
I know you know the rules because I know you do your due diligence, as you say.
Yeah.
But my mother always said, Mom always said, there's an asshole in every crowd, and all they want to do is ruin it for everybody.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, you have that here too.
Yeah.
Usually it's me though that. I'm just kidding. I don't have a channel.
Oh, that's too funny.
I don't have a channel. I just listen and watch and watch everybody.
You're cute.
Well, I used to be a rock and roll clown, so.
Oh, there you go.
Clown, so that's how I got my name. We say it beachy. It's bitchy, it's beachy, whatever, however I feel. But
bitchy.
Anyway.
Bitchy Tanya.
Bitchy Tanya. Yeah, I say beachy because I know a lot of people don't like to say bitchy.
Yeah, I try to keep, every now and again, I let something slip, but I really try to keep it clean on here as much as possible. But again, I'm a human, so I'm imperfect, and I do imperfect things, and will continue to do imperfect things to the day I die.
Right. Yeah. Nobody's perfect. That's exactly. And you don't have to be perfect. Mm-hmm. Hey, you just got to be civil. You got to have a good heart. You got to be right.
Just you know what? If everybody just went back to the old way, treat others as you wish they would treat you, this whole entire world would be such a better place. Period.
Yeah. There's people that have never even heard that saying before.
Yeah.
There's people that never even do unto others as you wish.
Because quite frankly, let's be honest here. If my child disappeared, I would my statement kept changing. I would expect people to be calling me out. I would expect people to be unhappy with me, showing up, wanting to talk to me, wanting to get to the bottom of it. I would expect that to happen. So nothing I've really done is something that I wouldn't expect to happen to me if I was in those same shoes.
I agree. Yeah, I mean, this case is so convoluted. It's got so many jagged edges on it that makes no sense at all.
I agree.
You don't see this very often, and that's why we're so in it, because you don't. In our time, we haven't seen this. Maybe years ago when there was less forensics, less everything. You don't have all that. Now we have all this, and it just makes absolutely no sense.
Actually, the technology we have now are clearing those cold cases from way back when they couldn't.
Right.
We have amazing technology now. It's making it harder and harder. Kudos to law enforcement. Kudos to the scientists that are finding these new techniques out for our law enforcement. I mean, back in the day, if we didn't have cell phones, we didn't have way of tracking people, we didn't have different things in cars like the OnStar and things of that nature.
All this stuff, we know.
Yeah,
I think we're about more in the same.
Trust me, our government tracks our every move anymore. That's why they made phones that no longer you can remove batteries. If your battery goes bad, you've got to take it to a shop and have them replace the battery. Open the phone up. They did that. I honestly believe they did that by design. They did that by design because now you're tracked on your phone, whether it's turned on or off.
Yep, everything is touched by the government. And you can reach 911 services. As soon as they did that, when the phones were off, you had no service, you call 911. I knew something was
They can track you. You don't even have to be able to give them an address. So you call 911 on a disconnected phone, they'll know where you're at.
Yep, yep. It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
And they're exonerating some people that have been in prison for many, many years and convicting others that should have been in there for
Absolutely.
many, many years.
I mean, there's a lot of good that comes with our technology.
Yeah, and that's why this case is just so it's hard for all of us to find them, rough them edges off, and we all know it. We all see it, and that's why we're all involved in it, trying to figure it out. There's just so much speculation around it too, though, that makes it a little bit harder to understand what's and what's not, especially with this JSB. I don't know about her, man. I don't ever believe it.
She's just a despicable piece of crap, in my opinion. I don't care. You cannot convince me that woman is a good woman. Period. You just cannot.
Through the load of shit that's in her mouth. That's where I'm at with her. You can't understand what somebody's fucking saying. If they're talking like that, there's just something's not right. They're not speaking.
And she's very slow. I don't know if she's under the influence of something that's like a downer for her. But literally, Cher last night put her on I think 1.5 or 1.75.
Yeah, I saw that.
And you could actually understand her like a normal person.
Yeah, I saw that. And you said, wow, it's amazing. Yeah, I watched that. It was a good one last night. That was really good.
Yeah, I had fun with Cher. I have to be honest with you. Her and I, when I first came out here, I don't think she liked me at all. I didn't know who she was. But I know she, when I first came out, boy, she was just fit to be tied. But you know what? Again, now that I've been on YouTube and people actually know who I am and what I talk about and how I conduct my chats, I think people are realizing what was being said is not true. I'm not the most dangerous person on YouTube. Quite frankly, at the end of the day, what have I done?
She's getting that information from somebody else too, though. You got, dude has got his finger in everybody's, or his, words in everybody's ears, sort of. And he's just a rough dude. He's just, I can't stand to watch him.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was telling us different things a long time ago. I was listening to him at first, and then I haven't watched him in quite a while now because, him and the other one started bullying each other.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say.
But that whole, the whole thing that's going back, even with Ernie, what's going on with me, what's going on with Doug Live, it's got to stop.
Yeah, it's not cool. And I understand if he believes that that's why, because they made that phone call, and I get that. But, how many times are you going to, beat this guy down for that, so to speak?
And even if he did, if it was one phone call, you've already did 45 calls against this man for one phone call. Yeah. Enough's enough. Literally, enough's enough.
In the beginning, I thought he would be one of the people to try to help somebody like that, not to do what he's doing now.
Yeah.
And I understand the reasoning behind it. But, still, he seemed totally different when I first started watching him, and then now I see his true color, and I don't like it.
Yeah.
I'm not, my name is Bitchy, but it's Bitchy Tanya.
Yeah.
Most Tanyas are Bitchy, but it's more of an oxymoron, you know what I mean?
Right.
Anymore. I'm way older than I used to be. But, dude, just chill, you know, make it, it's supposed to be a come together kind of thing, especially when you're working on cases like this. It shouldn't be.
Yeah. I mean, think about this, if all the creators in the true crime community actually united and actually was working for the victims, how much further we would be right now in helping these cases, as opposed to putting ourselves through this enormous grief and BS.
Yeah, because, as a watcher, we catch tidbits from different creators that we like, of course. And some creators didn't hear this piece, and so we heard this piece from here, and so we'll put it in I see a lot of people will tell you certain things that this creator said this, and then I know you go back and look and watch, or you have them show you whatever, and it would be so much easier if we all did have like a cross the board kind of thing, you know what I mean, where we could see everybody talking together and sharing those tidbits that will put pieces together, you know, make a puzzle.
Yeah.
The puzzle goes a lot faster when there's a group of people working on it.
Absolutely. And there's a lot of great minds in this community, lots of great minds, you know, and people with a lot of different experiences. And those could really be utilized to really propel some of these cases forward and really help put these cases in front of people's face on a wide variety of pages. So these cases get the most possibility of exposure. And they're not doing that. So keyboard warrior, report and delete, folks. Report and delete. Don't just delete. Don't just block. Report, please. Thank you. So, all right. Well, thank you, Miss Tanya, for calling in, and I hope you call in again.
Right on. I dig watching your show. I appreciate all you do, hey, and everybody else that helps you, and Justice and all them guys. You know, they're all good guys.
Yep.
It's you know. Yeah, they need better monitoring on the YouTube. There's certain people, I'm sure there's worse out there, you know, but definitely not cool shit going on. So it needs to be handled.
I agree. I agree.
Enjoy your fourth weekend.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I'm going to enjoy time with my mom today, and then we'll be back at it tomorrow, guys. So anyways, nice to see you. Nice to speak to you. We'll chat again.
Right on.
All right,
Have
hon.
a great day.
Bye-bye. So there you have it. You know, there's a little hair sticking up. I can't get that one little piece down. Oh, well. So anyways, you know, I think a lot of the people that have called in, you know, their perspectives are very good. And they make a lot of sense this morning. And as promised, we have about 4 minutes, about 3.5 minutes here at the end of this show, where I'd like to give a big shout out. I know we don't have the amount of people in here that we had this morning, but we still want to take a moment of silence, about 30 seconds or so. Guys, I want my prayer hands in the chat. This is for Doug Live. We want to uplift Doug Live as he undergoes heart surgery today. Again, he may have already had his heart surgery and may be in the recovery room. Either way, we still know that he has an uphill battle. We know that he has a lot of recovery ahead of him, especially having open heart surgery. And we want to make sure that we uplift not only Doug Live, but his family as well. They are going through this with him. This has not gone unscathed. The family is there. We just want to give a big shout out to Doug Live. We want his recovery. We want him to get well soon. We want him back on the streets of YouTube. We just want to honor Doug Live today. So please, prayer hands in the chat for Doug Live this morning. Thank you all. Thank you all. We want to make sure that he is good. And don't forget, Molly Go Lightly is doing a fundraiser for Doug and his family to help cover some of these expenses. I don't know if she's already gone live or will be going live in the near future. If you guys have not had an opportunity to go over to her channel, thank you, Michelle. I appreciate it. Please go over to her channel if you guys would like to help. Raise some money. I mean, he's going to have medical expenses. The family had travel expenses. Anything that our community can do within their ability, please do so. Another great way that Stephanie had brought up is if you want to support him. Oh, thank you, S-Max. I love you too. Thank you. If you want to support him, you can also go to his channel and you can watch his videos. That's a great way to support him that costs you literally no money out of your pocket. You can just go over there and show him love by watching his videos and watching his commercials. So it builds up his AdSense account. That also can help go toward these expenses he's having, medically and his daughter's travel expenses. So anything that you guys can do, please do your part. If it's going in there, that's a huge thing. Going in there and watching videos and getting that AdSense up, that's huge. And again, it's just your time. Nothing, and it helps him and his family. So please do your part for Doug Live. We as a community, a true crime community, are really praying that he pulls through. We never want to see something like this happen on the streets of YouTube again, and we will do whatever we can to fight this from happening. So thank you guys all for your time. Thank you for spending it with me this morning. I love each and every one of you. I hope you guys have an amazing Friday and a wonderful weekend. We will be back here tomorrow. Good day, and don't forget to be fearless, folks.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.